brand new, brand new purple light, brand new purple light, flags, brand new purple light, red, and blue, purple light, facts. You can get to know the legend, sacrilegious, Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the legend, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours, peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to Sacraligious Sundays. Yes, you are now rocking with the best. This is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, soon to be joined by my guest, the good brother Q Reaves. Let me know how it's sounding on the audio. Let me know how we sounding on the audio. All right. This song should go diamond for sure. The song was definitely fire. Let me just share something with you, right? You know, sometimes we talk about 432 hertz. Sometimes we talk about feel-good music. And sometimes we talk about technology. We are showing improving, not talking about it. We are putting out, product. We're putting out output to show you, if you know how to use the technology the right way, you can make powerful, powerful, powerful assets. Okay. So, that song right there is infused. Today we was at King Simon's event, and one of the elders came through and was like, yo, whenever I listen to that song, you feel me? She was like, it feels like, it heals me. It's like it's healing. It has that. I say, yes, it's tuned to the heart. It's tuned to a frequency, a healing frequency. Okay. It's not just a regular song. So yeah, yeah. I should have put that in for the they had people sending their songs in for the awards and whatnot. I need to consider sending that in for the Grammy, but that definitely that's a hood Grammy right there. You know what I'm saying? It bring you back. Definitely. We might have to do one of those 1950 themed parties and just play that for like an hour and whatnot. And to be honest with you, the 44 Tops, we got a whole album on the way. So we could really turn up and get on our whole, you know what I mean? We could get in that mood and whatnot. We could get in that mode because that is a very lit time. That is a very lit time. But let's get to the show. All right. First and foremost, let us do this before we go ahead and open up the line for our guests. I want to go ahead and do the roll call because I know it's a lot of family in the building tonight. You know what I mean? We got both platforms coming together like magnets, the way that it's supposed to be, digital convergence, bringing platforms together. So shout out to the family on Q Reaves platform, and shout out to my KT aliens in the building and whatnot. Yeah, so let's see who we have in the building tonight. We have Baton Rouge in the building. Shout out to Baton Rouge. We got Connecticut in the building, San Francisco in the building via San Jose, and boom, we got San Jose. We have a match. Ding ding ding. Phoenix in the building. We got Brooklyn in the building. Yeah, I mean Tampa, Greensboro. We got Detroit for the one time. What up, though? Philly is in the building. We got Rome, Georgia. Shout out to the family out there in Rome. Collindale, PA. All right. By way of the boot, they enjoy Tampa. All right. Tampa. Dodge the big one. Big Tampa. Big Tampa. Working with the Juju or something. Y'all dodging big ones. Nashville in the building. We got North Miami in the building, Hawaii in the building, all right? Columbus, Ohio in the building, Dallas in the building, Harlem is in the building. Shout out to Harlem 125, New Bedford in the building, Jersey in the building, Melbourne, the UK, Los Angeles is in the building. Another San Fran in the building. Y'all connect. People that's from the same state, real talk. Y'all should be connecting. You know what I mean? Y'all should be connected. This is not the balloon pop show, but send a message or something and connect with the people that are in your state. That means your state of mind. All right. If you're on this show tonight, y'all are on a high frequency. So I encourage people to link up because we all we got. Naptown in the building, Austin in the building, Memphis is in the building, Detroit is in the building. All right. The Bronx is in the building. Los Angeles, Bali is in this thing. London is in this thing. In it, we got Indianapolis in this thing. Chicago, Atlanta. All right, y'all deep in here. That's what's up. Canada, London, Jersey, Durham, Australia, St. Louis, Fort Greene. We got Mississippi Gulf Coast. We got Ireland, Greenville, Illinois, Vegas, Buffalo, Arkansas, the Lenapes. Shout out to everybody in the building. We will be here all night if I say it, but nah. Shout out to the family. Welcome. We're honored to have y'all. Without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and bring our guests to the stage. All right. Without any further ado, I present to you our brother, your brother, none other than Q Reaves in the building.
What up? What up? What up? What up? Peace, family. Rich rising. Rich rising.
To this day.
Yeah.
A little bit of sound effects.
Yes. Peace. Happy to be in this thing. Right. You ever been what they say, cross the pond? You ever been to London?
Man, has a duck ever swam?
Okay.
Yeah, I went there in 2019.
Oh,
You know me? And as Blue Pill explains, they say when there's two hemispheres of the brain, and in order to activate that other hemisphere, you have to travel. You know what I'm saying? You have to go to the other hemisphere of the planet to activate both hemispheres of the brain. So that trip really changed me and Blue Pill. We held court in Parliament. That's how far we took it. And if anybody, we was in Parliament. We did a whole filming with a queen, Diambi from the Congo, a real queen. We had Mfudishi holding court as the elder, and we basically was holding court in Parliament. It was, and 19 Keys was there. It was mind blowing.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Sound like we gotta get back across that pond.
Oh, they waiting for us. Yeah, they been, yeah. We made history out there when we tapped in.
That London film film market is
that whole on some real talk, like on some Moorish type shit, like from a Moor's perspective, the London trip is, I mean, the UK, the Europe trip, it's crazy. It is life altering.
wow.
That's
Yeah.
why I am a big proponent of, people traveling. Very important, especially if you are in the knowledge or in the know and you're doing the research. The research ain't local, and you not local, Joko. You heard this. You heard the roll call. You global, yeah. So imagine if you have thousands and thousands of people who could benefit you in your existence, because they're tied into your past life regressives, and they're tied into your bloodline and all kind of things. They're not just around you in your 50 state radius. Yeah.
Wow. And now you're getting another perspective. Like I have a client, she's Chinese, and she was explaining how they have like their own TikTok.
Yes.
And what is shown over there is different than what we are basically informed. Like it's a lot of military information on their thing. The accomplishment of international ballistic missiles almost reaching Hawaii. And just I basically was blown away with 20-30 minutes just learning their culture or their collective cultural understanding at this moment. That was
right.
powerful.
They have their own fantasy complex industry, and it's not tied into ours, right? We have our fantasy complex industry, and the people that were born in the UK and Europe have their own fantasy complex industry. And that would start at the beginning of our initial programming stages. So cartoons, toys, comics, video games, and music, okay, and then movies, of course, are those are the building blocks of the fantasy complex industry. And all of these different industries are connected interchangeably, right? And they're all controlled, and they will all basically the imagination of a group of select men from a certain ethnicity, right? The same ethnicity that we see right now at war against humanity, where they're openly showing you that they're not just a rogue state, but they are a terroristic state, because they can blatantly kill children, women, elderly, smile about it. We're talking about a horrific group of people. These people are where some of the people who comprised of the comic book industry, the cartoon industry, and the toy industry, Hanna-Barbera, Hasbro, the people who were behind a lot of our favorite cartoons, Stan Lee and them.
Vince McMahon, I saw on that Netflix documentary that they're known for turning fantasy into reality. They use that quote verbatim. Like,
that's right,
over here at wrestling. And it's so crazy because they pull on so many like esoteric ideologies, from like the Undertaker and him being like,
of course,
to Gold Dust, and that, like, man, there was some interesting connections in the World Wrestling Federation.
Very much so. And the World Wrestling Federation, or rather wrestling, that many of us grew up on, is a byproduct, or it is an adage of the fantasy complex industry, because it's fantasy. Oh, wrestling is fake. It's fantasy. It's not fake. It exists in our fantasy. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, it's just a template, because I remember being young and watching all of the wrestlers go in, but I had my imagination intact. So it was just a template. So I'm looking at dinosaurs jumping off the rope. I'm looking at Spider-Man doing moves and whatnot. I'm looking at when Jimmy Snooker was on the rope, he turns into cartoon characters and comic book characters that I'm into. Toys that I had turned into these wrestlers and whatnot. Me and Blue Pill having WrestleMania with G.I. Joes versus Voltron, So being that it was a part of the fantasy, it didn't have to be real. You understand? So my dad would be like, it's not real. I'm like, bro, it's real. It's as real as it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same way that hip hop, yeah, but that nigga not real. He's as real as he needs to be because he's an extension of the fantasy complex industry. So when Wu-Tang and some of these 90 backpack era groups popped out, they would intertwine a lot of their lyrics with what? Cartoon, swinging through swinging through the hood like the neighborhood Spider-Man. Yo, yo, yo. Like a lot of the 90s rappers were echoing Saturday cartoons, like their favorite cartoons, their favorite comic book characters, and all of that. Because guess what? They're in character, right? They're in character. Raekwon the chef is not the same person as who he is in real life. Well, maybe not Raekwon, but you know what I'm saying? Even
Right.
like Method Man. Method Man is the character. They showed you that in the
Clifford or whatever.
Clifford, right? They were trying to attempt to show you that in the Hulu special, the documentary American Saga about the Wu-Tang and whatnot, you know. But these are characters. So
And it's so interesting. You turn the W backwards, you get Mu. And you know, Mu is that like ancient Lemurian, is sometimes considered like dragon, black Asiatic. So
right.
like, you look at that, that's their whole theme. That was like their whole concept
Do
of
you know? Right. And remember, because let's stay on the WWE or just wrestling in general and what it means to the psyche of Western man and what it did to the programming of all of us who were right. And when we were, and now that the revelation of Vince McMahon, who somehow, some way, and just to show you the power of the programming, he's worse than Diddy, and he never even went through the public scrutiny. The lawsuit was out. You could read it. They were having little
it's
uh
crazy.
Entertainment Tonight was covering it a few times. Like they gave it a little brush over, but they went past on that. The majority of his fans who are locked in. Vince McMahon got niggas in a headlock from the 80s, bro. My generation,
Mm-hmm.
we're not gonna turn on him. Feel me?
Nah, he's ingrained in our culture more than Diddy.
Right. He comes before Trump. Trump came on his show and got put in a headlock and jumped off of the rope. It wasn't, he ain't go on The Apprentice. You know what I'm talking about?
Facts. You came to me. I ain't come to you.
I ain't come to you. He got legitimized through Trump was getting legitimized through wrestling. I bring Trump up because Trump in the WWE and all the niggas that have been programmed by it are one and the same and intricately connected. And do you know, just for the sake of doing esoteric magic and things of that nature, do you know that there was a Kamala Harris in the WWF?
That role, that personality.
No, not the archetype. The actual name of one of the wrestlers is Kamala Harris. And this character was the shit when I was into wrestling coming up. He was a legend. He was a big legend for a very long time, especially the Generation X. Anybody that came up, I'm in my late 40s. So anybody that was locked in, you know who this man is. You feel me? You know who this man is. And you know the significance that he had in the quote unquote in wrestling. You know the significance that he had.
Yeah, he made the video game and everything. I remember
he made the video game and everything.
Video game. That's undisputable. Then.
When we was clowning Africa, yeah, he was that dude that we unashamedly, like, nobody, you know, the
Damn, look at the Pac-Man symbol. Is that what it is? Just eat. I was watching Krishan's sister on the baddies thing, and she had eater on her chest. Like, this is a term right now. Like, they rolling with like
oh yeah, they eat us.
Eater.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
like,
that's
Pac-Man mentality. Eat until, I mean, that's no different than burn it down. I don't care if there ain't nothing left.
It's
that's
gluttony.
What I'm worried about. Angry black woman syndrome.
Right, but it's still gluttony though.
For sure.
You know, yes, he was an African. He was portrayed as an African, right? His name is Kamala Harris, the Ugandan giant, right? Or I don't know, because people try to check me on how to pronounce it. Is it Kamala? You know, they say K with like comma, or so Kamala. So this is the first Kamala that we were programmed by the WWE, which is an extension of the fantasy complex industry, right? And we were programmed, and we unwillingly got programmed. We didn't know that Kamala, the Ugandan giant, is going to be the new Kamala.
Damn, it's giant.
The Hindu giant, huh?
Giant. We're instantly attaching giant, larger than life, to this name. So when we hear the name again, we attach larger than life. Look what she did to Trump the last debate.
Right.
That's crazy. I call this subconscious programming.
Subconscious, you see? So wrestling is very interesting. Highly, highly interesting. There was a lot of programming that has been taking place. And it's a lot of the melanated men who rock with Trump right now. If you were to do a poll today and ask them how many of them grew up watching wrestling, I'll put $1 million up to say it's 8 out of 10.
Damn.
Right? 8 out of 10. These are people who've been programmed through Vince McMahon, right? And the quote unquote wrestling. Wrestling is a mentality. Wrestling is an egregor. Okay? Wrestling is egregor. It's a mentality.
What's Gregor?
Egregor.
I've never heard that term or word before.
Oh, let's go down that rabbit hole, huh?
I told you I want to learn something today, right?
We're gonna learn a lot tonight. You feel me? So the egregor, very important. Very important. Do you know why? Because this here has this is what we're dealing with. All right. This is what we're dealing with, especially with the digital devices and the quote unquote the fact that it's creating vices. The devices are creating vices. The devices are creating a quote unquote it's putting people in a place where they're feeling like, they're kind of like they can't shake it. You know what I mean? They're feeling addicted. Okay. So an egregor is what? Remember the video with Erykah Badu where she was stripped down? She stripped down and then she got, I think it was window seat, was it? Right? And then it's called, she has something on her body sketched in, say groupthink.
Yeah.
Yeah. So groupthink is what egregor is defined by. Okay, groupthink. It's the manifestation of what groupthink creates. So egregor is an occult concept referring to a collective thought form or psychic entity that is created and sustained by the shared beliefs, emotions, and intentions of a group of individuals. I'm going to read that again, right? And I want people to understand that an egregor is not a concept. It's not something that, it's not an idea. It's a reality. It's something that's actually at play in society, especially in the society that we're in right now, where you have people who are occultists, right? It wasn't always like this. But the people who are in charge, the people who are running things, the people who are programming, socially engineering billions of people, these are occultists. These are people who do shit right in your face and whatnot, but it's still hidden. Okay. So egregor is an occult concept referring to a collective thought form or psychic entity that is created and sustained by the shared beliefs, emotions, and intentions of a group of individuals. In psychology and sociology, An egregor is a shared mental construct or symbolic representation that emerges within a particular community or organization. So, a shared mental construct or symbolic representation, right, that emerges within a particular community. I would easily, my mind just shifts to the MAGA QAnon movement, right? The Trumpers who initially started out, the first egregor was the birthers. Remember, they was on Obama's tail. He was running some shit called the Truthers and the Birthers. And then the Tea Party. Remember the Tea Party? The Tea Party begins to morph into the quote unquote, you know, the MAGAs and whatnot. And then the MAGAs are morphed into the black MAGAs and whatnot. So there is, and then they get attached to a news organization like Fox, Tucker Carlson, and all of these other things. The numbers on all of these people, Glenn Beck, Tucker Carlson, Piers Morgan, you know, all of the, well, not Piers, but mostly the ones through the Fox and all of them that were attached to the MAGA mentality and the MAGA egregor. You saw how those numbers went up, right? You saw how they began to hypnotize and radicalize millions and millions of people, not just in America, all around the world, with this quote unquote new level of conspiracy theory. I've never seen conspiracy theories at levels at what I'm seeing now. And the fact that it's tied into these egregors that are tied into these quote unquote collective thought forms and whatnot, who represent and that are being programmed, right? They got Keck, what Keck, Pepe the Frog, right? Do you know who Pepe the Frog is?
From Looney Tunes?
No. That's Pepe Le Pew. Pepe the Frog is the symbol that they consecrated in the right wing, quote unquote, community, and it's a 4chan logo. It's a 4chan egregor, right? And it derives from Kek, the Egyptian deity of darkness, right? That's who they are summoning. That's who they're consecrating.
That's what people kick company is. Then that Aiden Ross kick, like that's probably that same frequency. Keck,
right? Yeah. Right. So when they doing spins and whatnot, like Charlottesville, right? When they killed the woman with the HH, right? When they're doing all of those Dylan Roof shit and everything, and they're leaving behind the manifestos and all of that is the sacrifice, and it's feeding whatever that deity or that egregor is, and it's making it stronger. Okay, it's making it stronger. Nick Fuentes, you feel me? Ben Shapiro. There's an egregor for the Zion, for the things that's going on. It's from October 7th and everything. That's why they have a whole cottage industry on TikTok where they're showing not just the people bodying shit, but they got people dancing to it. And then melanated people will be like, that's crazy, but that's drill rap, my brother and sister. You don't be a hypocrite. Don't be a hypocrite. That's drill rap. When you kill your op and make fun of him. Yeah. So Liar Cohen and them is signing niggas from Brooklyn and the Bronx and everything. It's Liar Cohen, it's Lucien Grange, it's everybody from over there. They do the same thing. They kill the op and they make fun of them. They're all on TikTok right now. Don't take my word for it. Go in if you want to go and see people pissing on graves and making fun of the dead and smoking packs, but they're not melanated like us. They're from over there. Go on TikTok. And then when you want to see our people doing the shit, go on Twitter.
Yeah, X.
Go on Twitter. It's right there for you. So we would condemn and be like, yo, that's barbaric what they over there doing. That's crazy what they over there doing. That's inhumane what they over there doing. Da 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 da. But you got people over here that are almost mimicking, not really, but I'm just saying the egregor. They're being they're getting attached to a certain thought form, and that thought form can now program your mind. So this is where it comes where people say, yo, something was just talking to me, had me walk up in that place and go crazy and whatnot. So
Mhm.
you have these weak-minded meth heads and these weak-minded quote unquote addicts and whatnot, and certain people who don't have stable mentals and whatnot going deep down the rabbit hole that's being provided on the dark web, right? They're going down rabbit holes on the dark web. They're going down, and the dark web could be the it could be the archives of 4chan. It could be the archives of a certain subreddit. It could be the archives of a subscribed YouTube page. That could be your dark web. You could drown in all of the information that you're being consumed by, this being poured into you. You could literally drown, especially if it's radicalizing you. So you got a lot of people out here that are like they don't have no auras. So they're like walk-ins. So they're easily programmed just by like blog posts and whatnot, by memes and shit. The same way that you got little kids in the hood who their auras got holes in it and they getting walkthroughs and everything, and they're getting possessed, and they going out and spinning the block and staining shit up and whatnot. It's the same thing. It's still possession at the end of the day. There's still an egregor that's attached. The whole everything dealing with the drill culture is an egregor. That's why it's a deaf culture. It's a deaf egregor. It is a grim reaper type of egregor that's attached to a lot of that shit. That's why when you really get into drill culture, nigga, it's Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th in real life. Okay, even the little alleyways where they be staining them dudes and whatnot. That shit look like the Jason movie. Like, it's a horror story in real life. When you listen to Trap Law Ross and these little white boys that do the documentaries and they put the eerie music behind it, I can't watch that shit smoking some runts at 4 a.m. I get spooked.
That death wave.
It's
That
an
D
ill
wave.
death wave. Yes.
D
It's an
wave.
ill date wave. Yes.
And
And
I think so the egregor, how I was kind of like shown, they call it a golem, like almost in the Jewish culture. It's a
yes.
claymation. It's basically
Claymation, yes.
something that they made up and then they bring it to life.
And you consecrate it.
Right. And the only way it stays alive is if that what it is set, like say it's created with the purpose of suppressing a person.
Yes.
As long as that person feeds it, it will forever stay alive, including descendants.
Right.
So that's how I have been exposed to it, as if like some would even say there are a race of people on this planet that are gullible, and they only exist because we're gullible enough to feed into them. But the moment we ignore them, they will kind of fade away type situation. But their goal is to create a death wave, a reality where we almost keep them here based on lowering our frequency and lowering our frequency to the point where we create an environment that is stressing us instead of blessing us to a degree. And that's really focusing on nature. Like if we let go of the people, especially the colonizer, and get back more into our own nature and mother nature, well, that's when things start changing, which is why I think they're manipulating the weather, because that is manipulating our nature, mother nature, and inducing certain waves into her nature is reflecting into our nature, which is then inducing certain waves like a D wave. So they hitting us with waves while we trying to be laser focused, but they constantly hitting us with waves.
Right, because we're water.
To focus, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And collapsing the wave, thus collapsing the wave. You feel me? Thus collapsing the wave. And when you look at when you understand how an egregor is kind of like an attachment, right? It's almost like a parasite in a sense, right?
Hmm.
It's a parasitic thought form. So imagine if there's a virus that's being funded to the tune of 10 million, for one virus, 20 million for another virus, 6 million for the next virus, in terms of marketing and promotion. They're dropping 10 million. If anybody works with Facebook marketing, you please tell the chat room what $10 million in Facebook marketing would mean for any product? I don't care what you're selling. So when the record labels put all of this quote unquote all of these funds, right, billions of dollars behind certain viruses, behind certain golems and whatnot, behind certain egregors and whatnot, because if I'm a record label and I know that there's an artist who murdered somebody and they want to, and they got hot in their city for rapping about it and whatnot, chances are in my mind, I'm saying to myself, well, shit, that person has, there's a chance that that person is going to die soon. So let me go ahead, let me hurry up and go and sign that person, put millions of dollars on them. But the millions of dollars that they're putting on them is because they're hedging it against their insurance that they're putting on them. It's not the millions of dollars because he's super hot. They're like, yo, let's put 15 million on him, but hedge against the key life insurance, because we know as soon as that person gets bodied or if they get locked up, then the catalog is gonna go crazy. You feel me? Henceforth, why they're buying up all of the artist catalog right now, because they're letting people know, it's all about the catalog and this new the streaming world that we're in. The artists don't gotta be alive.
Hmm.
The artists don't gotta be alive no more. And as you heard the song in the beginning, you don't need humans no more. You understand? That's not that they're gonna have replicas of every single favorite one of your artists. You're gonna be able to pay a premium to get Michael Jackson on the hook,
Hmm.
and he gonna sound just like Michael. So people are gonna be like, "It's Michael."
Yeah, you've seen some of them AI make mock-ups, right?
It's
it
getting
can,
better by the day.
ooh, I've
But
listened to
remember, you're
it's
seeing but always know and always keep in mind, you're only being shown the commercial versions of everything. Like you had the conversation with the lady in China. She will let you know that everything that you see and hear and be exposed to, you think that it's, no, this is chosen and selective. There's a firewall. Same way in China, there's a firewall where them niggas don't get to see us. So they're not distracted by us because they live in their own. They're not going to have your egregors attached to them. Henceforth, why they say you can't play rap music out there. They want their egregors to be attached to their people, their thought forms, their ideas and concepts. Because remember, war at the end of the day is about establishing ideas and concepts. He who wins the war gets to do what? Reestablish. What's the first thing that they reestablish? The ideas and the concepts of the people.
Mhm.
Okay. They reestablish, they take control of the narrative. Okay. Once you take control of the narrative, you take control of the reality. So the great firewall in China is the fact that they are programming and controlling their own reality. They got their own cartoons, they got their own comic books, they making the toys, and they got their own toys.
Sound like they got what the KKK was wanting.
I mean, when you look at it,
MKO.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like they got their
Like it
own
did better
closed
than
in.
the KKK.
You feel me? They got their own closed in society, and they also are not consumers. They're prosumers. They make shit and they sell it.
Yeah,
They're
you heard
making
about the tariff on electric cars, that they're not trying to let their electric car market over here because they're trying to charge them 100% tariff. So
right,
basically, like that's wild. That's us almost having to pay double for the car.
right, because their electric cars are smoking the Teslas.
Yeah.
Right, people are falling for this inferiority complex plagued white South African boar right, named Elon Musk,
Elion,
who
Elion,
Elion,
Elion.
who really he just copies, or he goes on businessesforsale.com. We used to do that.
Yeah, yeah, for
Oh, that's
sure.
a lit business. Let me buy it and say that I'm him. Like anybody could do that. He buys the companies, and then he's not the one putting the formulas and the codes together to launch these rockets and to make these damn cars ride by themselves.
They never really was though. I mean, they even showed you that, and what's that? Four hidden figures in the
And
movie.
yeah, the sisters in the basement with
Yeah.
the human computers before they replaced them with who IBM's
Mm-hmm.
Watson,
Yep.
right? And our sisters, the computing power in the brains of our sisters was so sharp and so fast and so efficient and whatnot, and so mathematical that they could have chose any group of women in the world. Right, we're talking about NASA of all places, where they said that the Operation Paperclip brought the quote unquote best scientists from Nazi Germany and things of that nature, and they still put our women in the basement as computers and had to replace them with a supercomputer. And even when they got the supercomputer, it still couldn't replace them. They had to bring somebody in there to really tweak it. So, and then you have Henrietta Lacks, of course.
And it's still the same. And I think they had to bring one of them or them in to help train this computer, which is crazy because if you think about where we're at right now, even with the age of AI, they done had this AI for 30 years, and it still hasn't gotten to a level of evolution that they feel is sufficient. So now give it to us so we can help evolve this thing. So it's on us once again.
Right.
She told me that they have a discussion over there in China how we have a more advanced AI than they do, which is something I would have never thought they would have admitted. But this is something they are willing to admit right now. We have a more advanced AI than them.
Right.
They have more advanced robotics, drones, even to the point where the military has been pressured by Congress to not use those drones from China. And they're like, you tripping. These are the best drones in the world. Like, we're going to use the best. So that's kind of happening. But this is what she told me. She said that they've already discussed that they're not allowing the robots in public because they can't control them. The Chinese don't want anything that they can't control. So the fact that they can't control these things in public, they're not allowed in public.
Right.
But of course, ours will be allowed in public. It's hard to tell Americans what they could do with their stuff. Like, that's a thing. So yeah, you're a robot that you just paid $30,000 for, got to stay in the house on the charger. I doubt it. No, it's gonna drive me. It's gonna be my personal security. It's doing everything. Give me a massage. Look, store right there. You doing all that. We doing the most. We getting the most out of 30,000. But my point is, they're nervous that our robotics is going to evolve greater than theirs. Because the whole concept, we outside, like it's going to be exposed to more things.
Right. So the data point, right. So the fact that it will be able to evolve because
and they're worried about Terminator robot wars. We're going to get into the future where these robots are going to kind of be fighting each other, and that America may have a leg up simply because their people are exposing these robots to things no other people in the world are exposing, like even guns. I mean, just even that idea, the thing we could train, you can't even have guns in most parts of the world. Like, it's wild. It's wild. It's wild. This is wild.
Yeah, I just want to put on the record that 2024 was the year that AI, the first phase of Skynet, started. And that took place in the Gaza conflict and whatnot. They set off 2 AI systems that have been strategically targeting civilians, targeting targets and whatnot. The AI is so cold-hearted and brutal that if they spot a target, it is allowed to take 300 to 1,000 innocent people out as collateral damage just to basically get that one target. So when you see these drone attacks that are destroying neighborhoods, these drone attacks that are destroying hospitals, they are being greenlit by AI right now as we speak. So that's something that big tech can't let out. They can't let the public know that AI has already been weaponized. It's already a killing machine. And they saying it's going bonkers over there, and is it real and whatnot? The way that it's picking people and selecting them on the kill list, and it's
Like
been
it got its own list type situation. You think it might have like its own little agenda, or it's just picking what has been programmed? Like colonizers races. So are they?
yeah.
Okay.
See, there's a thing over there with them finding $1 trillion worth of gas and oil off of the beaches of Gaza, right? It's when you think of Gaza, think of South Beach, right? Just think of Ocean Ave and think of the waters that's how it's set up and whatnot. Right off in that ocean, there's trillions of dollars that they just found worth of gas, right? That whole region is rich. So you're talking about that area that we're seeing right now in rubble and whatnot, the equivalent of a Dubai. Because that's what it's worth, right? It has that much. That's the way that Dubai blew up. That's the way that Dubai was able to come up because of its natural resources. So it's already there. So what they programmed the AI to use biometrics to basically take out the people who, because there was a bunch of inhabitants on that land that were already negotiating about what to do with those trillions of dollars of worth of raw materials because of their ancestral ties to the land. So they're knocking families off. They're knocking mad people off. The AI is spotting out all of those people on the list, and they're knocking them off. And under the guise of something, that hey, just innocent. No, they're taking out a bunch of people who are potential heirs to that very rich land. Right? So before they even know their inheritance, they got buildings that collapsed on them. They got caught up in the middle of these other people who are at war and whatnot. Henceforth, you see a lot of other countries who would benefit from that oil and whatnot. They mad quiet. Even when America put that pier over there, that pier was allowing them to do what? Fake like they were bringing goods and everything into Gaza, which never got into Gaza. They were using that pier to go ahead and survey that oil rich and that gas. They need that gas and things of that nature because of what's going on in Africa, because of what's going on especially in Russia. They playing games for resources right now. It's a global conflict. They're not waiting to do it. It's happening right now. It's happening right now.
What's it like? So you say it's like a resource grab right now.
It's a big resource grab, and the big boy resource grab is Africa. They're beefing up so they could get ready to smack that, but they can't necessarily take Africa and smack it until they create this spillover fight where it's like, we're fighting against these Russian people, but we got to be in Africa's backyard to fight it out. Low key, both of them is like, it's almost like how the Rothschilds and Don King bets. Whoever wins that war is going to take that prize. You feel me? So Africa loses in the long run.
Africa.
They're the monkey in the middle. But it's like if two people wanted to take over your block and they don't live on your block, they'll come on your block and then start shooting it out. The person who doesn't get shot automatically takes over the block because they went to war on that block. So they'll stake claim like, yo, because I had to fight on this block and because niggas try to kill me on this block, I'm taking this block. So that's how America is positioning themselves. Is all of these NATO people, America is at the head of it, and is it real is like their rabid pit bull, not just a barking pit bull. This pit bull got 3 heads and he's going crazy. Wow. You want to talk about a shooter? The way that America got Israel looking right now, that's their fucking shooter. Remember, they're knocking niggas off. They get their ops, bro. If you know what I mean, like they get their targets. You got to be super thorough to stay alive with them as on your tail and whatnot. They hit their licks.
I mean,
So
look at Kanye. No, they hit their licks.
they do hit they. Yeah, you seen how they undressed my dude and spanked him,
Yeah, they
stripped him down, spanked him. They flogged
bro.
him.
Oof.
You know, they flogged him
Mm.
and sent him on his way. And they're all positioning themselves on a continent which is highly mineral rich. It is involved with the next few hundred years of not just their survival and whatnot, but their thrival.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go EV and all kind of other shit. You know what I mean? And they know that the time is ticking. This is just a desperation play. It's almost like, what else can they do? If they sit still, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
You got it in the Middle East where they can never back down. From this point on, they can never say, "Nah, I was just playing and whatnot," or "Chill." It's forever up over there. At this point, it's forever up. It
Did
will
you
never be.
Did you see
Huh?
the Tesla show where he was like
Yeah,
introducing them
yeah,
cabs and robots and
yeah. It was called We Robot.
yeah, didn't it feel a little desperate, a little like forced,
Yeah,
like not as manicured or prepared as I would think a billionaire would be to launch this type of thing. Like they were stiff.
Super Force.
It just a lot of stuff did not
It
really.
didn't hit. It didn't hit.
Yeah, it
He could
didn't.
have built if he was gonna be doing some crazy shit like that. Like you bought Twitter for all of that money just for people to upload smut and OnlyFans. You don't put no. You could have put a 30-second clip
Mhm.
right before you even did the show.
Damn.
You could have built some anticipation and just dropped like an 8-second trailer and like really body dudes having the robot dancing or coming out out
Mhm.
the cab and whatnot. You got celebrity friends.
Yeah.
Influential people. You just came out with the Cybertruck. Have some respect.
Yeah. I
But
would.
you run a yeah.
Had one we want to act like these is the next wave. Have one around Trump for the next 30 days. Where
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Straight
Like that.
right there. Like you saw how they were like, don't touch it, don't get too close.
Right.
This is about to be in my everyday life. I want to make sure if I punch it, if I hit it by act, I want to grasp what the
feel
fuck
me?
I'm trying to place in my consciousness, in my house, around my kids, in my future. Like
Right.
what? Like it seemed real. It seemed real rushed. Like real. If we don't put this shit on out, it's a wrap.
Look, men lie, women lie, numbers don't.
Come on, look at this
No, I'm
shit.
just saying, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The shares. Fuck what anybody else say. It's the stocks that tell the story. He dropped 8% the next day. Let me go and Google that so we can have our fact checks and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? Because I mean, for the record, I am getting one of those robots so I can have something around me to fact check everything I say every day. Be like, facts.
Yeah, nah, we ain't the real gods and goddesses on this planet have been exposed to everything and the existence of everything. So we can't be like, nah, not that. It got to be on some like, what's that? Let me analyze that. Let me process that. And if it don't serve us, you can go. But not some like, nah, that ain't doing it neither. That's fear.
Right.
That's fear. I always use a tactic where if something makes me nervous or I'm like fearful of something, I'll give myself 5 seconds to accept the fear, to embrace it,
Just
and
embrace
then it's a wrap. Then we gotta go. I'm acknowledging it. It's not like I'm ignoring the fear. I'm acknowledging it.
Yep, there you go.
Damn.
Shares in Tesla, right?
8.8.
8.8. That's a big drop for all of my little ping.
That's an interesting number.
All of my guys that like the pips and all of that. Yeah, that's real interesting, my day traders.
Wow.
But yeah, that means that there's the real people who matter the most in this whole equation, which is the shareholders, they know this ain't it.
Nah, this ain't it. That was weak. That shit.
This ain't it, bro.
After
like you said, it's desperate. He, you know, perception is everything. when I seen homie dancing around Donald Trump like a
You're jumping,
fanboy,
right? When he was like
you feel me?
that
With
Black
no,
MAGA
he
clip,
had no
it was
tank top
over.
on. Right, it was over. It was like
this is mental instability at its best. I don't know if it's natural. It's a little natural, but
I
it's
would
all
have.
little designer hallucinogens they be on. They look
Yo,
too far gone.
that I started shorting Tesla that night, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck on some. That's insider trader, but I start shorting them that night because they're not going up.
Not after that.
Not
Look
with that goof.
Yeah, not look at that. What this is one of the richest men in the world. And look at that. Look at that. He's out of shape. And then it's crazy because you got Zuckerberg kind of like running circles around him a little bit. Like
took his swag.
It's wow. I mean, wow. Wow.
Zuckerberg got an Amiri deal, nigga.
That shit wild. Oh, that's wild.
Got young Zucky in the Amiris. What you talking about?
Damn, about to look like the dude
with the
from
curly
Power.
blowout, looking like
white boy from Power. He about to look like him because that
he like a grown Adonis. It was Zuckerberg like a grown Adonis. Like, what are we doing?
Man,
this crazy.
Wow, this is wild. So then Amazon got to come out with some robots too. It got to be next. Like
who's gonna be a Robo Wars?
Who's going to challenge? I want to know who's going to step up next to challenge the robot. I mean, if Apple drops theirs, they go shit on the game if done right. Now they fail with these VR headsets, but I don't think that they were really doing it to get a whole bunch of people to buy it. I think they were doing it to show off, to show what they're capable of.
That was an expensive flex.
They could do it. Did you ever try one?
Yeah.
Did you see how immersive like that shit makes you?
Was crazy.
That shit was crazy. I've never experienced some type of technology like that.
Yeah,
and it was a flex. It was. I
wonder. Flex. Yeah, they dropped the ball bad on that.
Yeah, it was a flex, but it was. I mean, but whose flex was harder though, Elon or Apple's?
You know what? That's very interesting. That's a good question. I would have to experience both technologies to give you that, because it's just speculation at that point to be like, yo, the Apple shit was a bigger flex, or the robo taxi was a bigger flex. Like, I would literally have to ride in that shit, because on surface, on paper, it don't sound like something that I would just do. Like, I don't know if I'm just walking into something and don't have no driver. You feel me? I don't even do bungee jumping. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like taking planes like that. I don't do a lot of shit that makes it easier for my ops to opt out. You know what I mean?
Real shit.
And getting into some shit with a drive, because I know me, after a while, I'm gonna start acting stupid when it's a driverless car. At first, I'm gonna be prim and proper, sitting with my seatbelt on, my hands on my knees and whatnot. But by the 20th thing, it's Slizzy Gang, bro. In the
yeah, birth rate's going up.
You feel me? It's Slizzy Gang and the
birth rate's going up.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, what are we?
Not after it's gonna be. Remember the 70s when they had like the fancy cars, you used to back like living rooms and shit.
Backs.
Yeah, it's going back. It's up.
The Liz and this thing.
It's up. I can see that. I can see that. What I'm interested in to see if people let their guard down. Like, he used the elevator analogy where he was saying how like there used to be a person in the elevator with a lever, and then eventually the lever went away and the person that was responsible for hitting the buttons, and eventually the person disappeared, and you are now in control of this elevator and you get to define where it goes, and no one questions that anymore. That is their logic. That is going to evolve to the point where a person is going to start getting in the car and they're not even going to worry about a driver being there anymore.
Right.
Now, I think people will trust it more if they start doing it in like tourist areas where you don't really need to travel 15, 20 miles.
20 miles.
Yeah, slow. You know, you get comfortable, you trust it, get a little information about where you're going. They go sugarcoat the shit out of it, but they go to ease it into people in the touristy areas. And it's going to be cheaper, like living in New Orleans.
Right.
When I was living in New Orleans, if I wanted to catch a Uber from Canal Street, let's say to like mid city, which is maybe like 10 minutes away, man, that shit costs like $15-$20 just for that little run trip. And sometimes just to go on the Canal Street loop.
The city is like that too in New York.
So you know what I'm saying? If you're telling me anywhere within a 15-20 minute radius, I could get there for $5. Ugh. Let me try this thing, because I know the cab about to, the Uber about to charge me $20, $25 to go up the block. That's how I think they go get them.
This is the body bag. He said that when you have the robo taxi, so you basically spend 30 bands, you get the robo taxi, and let's say that we're doing this interview right now. While you doing this interview, the taxi is out there picking people up and getting you bread.
That shit gonna be wild.
In a recession? Oh no! In this economy,
they're running towards it. I want a whole fleet. And then how do you stop the pimps and the drug dealers from having fleets of Teslas?
Right.
I told this Tesla, bitch, you better be back here in 10 seconds. All right? I'm going to slap the fuck out you. You know, like, when you start pimping, listen, hoes, I don't even need you no more. I got a fleet of Teslas that's bringing in the money. Fuck that. Damn. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you know,
Teslas. Okay. I mean, this is an interesting future. We are really
it's the appeal, right? You know, it's still, don't be mad at us. Be mad at the motherfucking the commercial. This is, you know, remember the idea is you have to mimic. That's why that's why this is being put out as carbon copies of your programming. Because in your subconsciousness, you have these pictures from watching the movie iRobot, right? So from a consumer standpoint, they know that it's easier to sell you these devices or these products and whatnot if the product design mimics something that's already in your subconscious. Star Trek and them showed them that when they start selling niggas iPhones and tablets and everything else that was on Star Trek. You know what I mean? Over the years and whatnot. So this product design that he's doing and whatnot is definitely a marketing ploy to have people who have already been programmed by iRobot. So in order to say we in the future, you create these you create these products and whatnot, and you mimic them to the programming that we received in the movies, right? Neurocinematics and whatnot, the prediction programming or the subconscious programming of these quote unquote scenarios that they put in the movies. Now we're living in it. Henceforth, one of the greatest examples that I could use is the movie The Matrix. When you want, for those who watched it in the movie theater when it came out, the internet was not a thing like that in 1999. There was no social media, but when the first scene opening up the movie, my dude is in the deep web. He's not on the internet. He's not on the quote unquote www. Neo or Mr. Anderson was in the deep web. He was on an onion router. Okay. In the darkest depths. He was going to the darkest of depths. He was going to the bottom. Okay. It opens up like that. And the Matrix was about the internet. Fast forward to today, you are living in the Matrix. You understand all of the conceptualizations that the Matrix was putting forth. You understand what they meant. You understand what the programming is. You understand the concept that we live in a program. You understand the concept of people being plugged in and unplugged. You understand the concept of living in Zion and living in the Matrix. You understand the concept that you go into the Matrix through your phone.
Dial tone. Yeah. Phone.
No, through that phone in your hand.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in the Matrix, you're right. With the
right,
phone
in the phone, but it was a phone booth. It wasn't a cell phone, but you got into the Matrix through your phone. So I could wake up today and until I pick up my phone, I'm not in the Matrix.
All right, remember, Bill and Ted, they had to get in a phone booth.
Right.
Superman, he went into a phone booth.
Phone booth, right.
So it's like it's making my gears click because, like, do you unlock your superpowers? Do this thing you call the phone booth. Do you time travel? Do this thing you call the phone booth.
Yes.
jump into the multiverse through the phone booth.
But
And
the booth turned into the phone, which is the Black
damn,
Mirror.
the booth turned into the phone. Not even
But keep it in, keep
no
let's
more.
go, let's go back to every question that you ask and answer it to show that you are completely on point. Now, the first question that you asked was what?
Do you gain superpowers through the phone?
Yes, let me answer that. Let me qualify that and share with you how yes, you receive superpowers through the phone. Okay? So boom. I wake up, I'm in 2D reality, right? I'm in 3D reality, three-dimensional reality, right? Which consists of length, width, and height, right? That's the reality that I exist in. Boom. My name is Philip Moreland, right? I wake up, my son is right there. Daddy, daddy, you know what I'm saying? We chilling and everything. What you want to eat for breakfast? I'm there with the wifey. We just chilling and everything. Then I pick up my phone and I look at my YouTube video back office, and I went live the night before with Melanin Monday, right? Where Red Pill was online talking to people all around the world, right? So Red Pill was online while Philip Moreland was asleep. Red Pill was tapping in with people because I'll go to sleep and I'm at 1,000 views, and then I wake up right now and I'm like 7,000 views in the morning. So I'm like, damn, that's crazy. While I was sleeping, 6,000 people was tapping into this super human version of me. Because when people see you in real life, what do they say to you? Damn, I was just watching you today on TV, Red. That's crazy. I didn't even know that you was real. So I
Yeah.
be like, what you mean by that? They be like, you got to understand, we was watching y'all in Harlem on 125th Street while we was in college and whatnot in the deep South, in the way that y'all was outside and holding it down and whatnot. Y'all was in the trenches and whatnot. We grew up listening to Dipset. So our vision of what Harlem was this a dangerous place where the Bloods and the gangs and everything be at. But y'all outside in Harlem, talking to people about gods and the black woman is God and the white and y'all just standing out there and y'all look like gods, y'all look like superheroes, y'all my new heroes. So on the silver screen, like when people see actors trying to eat a little Denny's dinner with their family, and they're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it's Trey from that, and they like, nah, that's just a character, that wasn't me. And they like, nah, that's you, right? So they see them as bigger than life. They're superhero when they got to see them on 100-foot screen, a silver screen. But even when they looking at you on a small screen, they don't even know that you really exist in real life. You're bigger than life. You're on the cyber space. You're on the internet highway. You know what I mean? You're disrupting shit. You're waking people up. You're breaking people's chains. You're waking them up, snapping them out of the matrix. You're collapsing the system, right? You're inside of an intellectual war and a galactical war, which is also a spiritual war on higher principalities, and you socking it to the motherfucking ops, right? So on a spiritual realm, we don't even understand the significance of what it is that we're doing, but it is registering as something very super, right? To a lot of people and whatnot. And perception is everything. So what people perceive is not what I see, is what people are perceiving, is what they see, is what they perceive as to what they're seeing. Cause I be trying to explain shit, but motherfuckers be having a mind made up of how they see shit or how they perceive shit. And I just be like, you know what? So be it, my nigga. If that's how you see it, then so be it. But we are planets, we are stars, we are galaxies. When one of us if one of us are martyred, we become bigger than life, like how Nipsey Hussle was, to the point where you can't touch him anymore. So you're like, yo, son is God. Right? So yeah, that's what 4D did to us. I'm in a tesseract when you looking at me in your phone. I'm in 4 dimensions. I'm not in 3 anymore. I'm in 4 dimensions. You understand? You wanna add on to what that 4 would be?
That's that depth.
That's
You got
that depth, right?
that's that depth, and it's interesting because what come to mind is the Professor X scene where he goes into like Cerebrum and he
He goes
pops this
right,
thing on, and now he's connected to all the mutants. Like
right.
that's what we doing when we get into this black screen, when this black
That
mirror,
is
like we are
exactly what
putting
we're
it on
doing.
and we're going into the depths. Y'all are hearing our freestyles. Y'all are hearing us pouring out the depth of our length, our width, and our heights. Well, and moreover, the length, the width, and depths of ourselves, so you can see us at our height, so you can see us at our evolution or elevation. We are basically the ones going through length, width, and depth, while others may just start learning how grand or expansive one's timeline can be. Some people
Right.
want to wish death on themselves so much that there is no I'm gonna be 100. You know, I gotta make it till I'm 15. I'm 14 years old. Life hard. What do you mean make it to 25? Most of these niggas in the hood that I know don't make it to 25. They don't even see their length. There's
You
no
can't.
length.
Right. There's no length. The length is gone.
Mhm,
There's right. The length is gone.
mhm.
So they're losing dimensions.
Yeah, no width, meaning
No
no
width.
emotional expansion. They boxed in. That there's no expansion of their heart.
I'm on my block till I die.
There you go. There you
Right.
go.
So
Right.
you like,
Right.
fam,
Stuff.
I'm
No
riding for
width.
this street corner until it's over, until they free the guys. But there is, when you look at length, there's somebody who come from that same block who went to China, they went to Africa, they
Mhm.
went to Turkey, they went to Istanbul.
Istanbul.
Istanbul. You know what I mean? They went to Czechoslovakia, they went to South America, they went to Brazil. Like they got passport bros that are running, even though, but they got brothers who are calling themselves passport bros traversing the globe. They have sisters who are going out with their girls and whatnot. They're going on these trips and they're going around the world. They're going on cruises. They're going on planes. They're traversing the globe. They have extended the length. So,
And that's adding to their depth.
and that's adding to their depth.
And if
Right.
you film the depth, you will help them reach heights, which is putting them on a square.
Right. Henceforth,
Walk of Fame, Star Walk of Fame.
Fame.
You're giving them 4 sides. You helping them obtain the tip, because the next comes the peak, the pyramid. You know, you get your square. The next step is centering oneself and straight to the moon and beyond.
Right. Right. Henceforth, why an artist like a Future or one of these artists who come from the hood where people don't have no length, they don't have no sight, no foresight and whatnot, he'll come home and be a symbol, right, of those who could make it out.
Mm-hmm.
Those who could who could think big. Those who could do have a bigger quote unquote footprint in the world.
Yeah, how they were saying you and Blue were like how you make it out of this death wave. You know, Harlem, it's the death wave. They rapping about dying, Bloods, Crips, and you talking about I'm God. You talking about the black woman God. You expanding on things that they have not even dug deep into. So yeah,
Right.
you are looked at as someone of elevation, of height, and that's important.
Right.
Especially people on this internet right now. I want you to understand that you are often viewed as people's perspective of height. So how you express being on top,
Right,
matters. And we want this whole top to be unified. Not I want to be at the top all by myself and looking down at everyone like peons. That's how some people handle height. But it's lonely at the top. That's why if we're getting to the peak, we all got to get there together. And this is the concept of the cyclop. That means we all got to have one vision. That means that as we start to come together and get to this height, we all got to come together on the vision. Everyone brings something to the table. No one man should be above anyone. Everyone matters when it comes to the cyclop, to the vision. And the Illuminati got that figured out. That's why they showing you all day, you know, we got one vision. We figured out teamwork. Hopefully y'all can understand the same message.
Crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
So if you have you were asking a litany of questions. I don't know if you still
Yeah,
remember
no, I
them.
got you.
All
So,
right.
so the next one is: can a cell phone or can the phone booth allow time travel?
Okay. So the cell phone, well, first it was this phone booth through Superman and other quote unquote archetypes, and then it
Bill and Ted.
evolved.
Remember Bill and Ted? They got
Bill
in
and Ted's,
both
yes, Bill
and
and Ted's
out
Excellent Adventure.
time.
Right. They were in the tub and they were in the phone booth. Wayne's World. There's a few other phone booth archetypes, but the phone and the last phone booth was the Matrix, right? The Matrix movie 1999. And then I
Mm-hmm.
remember reading about mobile phone in Africa and what mobile phones in Africa were doing in the early 2000s, how they were advancing a whole civilization just through mobile. That they were saying bet big on mobile, and I was trying to, I was looking at it with my two-dimensional mind and trying to look at it from a four-dimensional perspective, the real bird's eye view. And what eventually happened was the same thing that started happening in China with the quote unquote WeChat, right? The everything app, where you do everything on one app. So in Africa, they began to do everything via mobile, right? Pay bills, um, bank, something that they weren't used to and whatnot. They were banking, they were paying bills, they were doing so many things with these phones and whatnot, and it began to evolve. You know what I mean? So around the same time, we began to get we got the iPhone and things of that nature, Samsungs and Androids and things of that nature. We went from the flip phone to the BlackBerry to the iPhone, and then we started tapping in, right? So the concept of Neo jumping through the phone, from living in Zion and jumping through the phone and being in the Matrix, where whenever he jumped through the phone and popped out in the Matrix, wasn't he popping out? Did you notice that he was always fresh? Them niggas was living, they were wearing laser cut leather that I used to go to the city to try to find. And they was like, you know what I mean? I was trying to mimic that. They was, I had a matter of fact, I did have a jacket like that from laser cut. You know what I mean? It
Rick
was up there.
Owens brought that look in during that time. That was probably his claim to fame, Rick Owens.
The Rick O, yeah. Was it Rick Owen? Who was behind the wardrobe of the original Matrix, the first one?
I don't know the stuff.
All right. So every time they were in the Matrix, they were clean. Whenever you get on your phone, you clean.
Damn.
Not too many people pop out. Not too
Craig.
many, right? Not too many as people are popping out in the Matrix, which is through your phone, which is where we're at right now. This is a 4-dimension reality. Okay, this is a 4th-dimension reality. When you link up with me, like I saw people today at the National Black Theater at King Simon event, we was in 3D. We were in 3 dimensions, but this is 4D right here. This is a whole nother dimension where we are not the same people as we are in 3 dimensions. We have another dimension to us now. So what does that mean? That means that we're more powerful. We have more reach. We are legends. We're becoming legendary through this dimension right here. Okay. And we added the depth by being in Harlem. Harlem had a certain depth that it reached and whatnot for that generation, even though it was people like Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X walked those streets before and added a level of depth in the 50s that our brothers were able to expand and into the 60s and henceforth. So we just was carrying on tradition. You feel me? And by doing that, and being right on time when the 4th dimension reality kicked off, what they call the internet. That's just the commercial term. We talking metaphysics and whatnot. We talking the occult, the unseen. This is science. This is the 4th dimension. We're in a tesseract. We're not, remember, keep in mind, if you live in a 3-dimensional world, you cannot see the 4th dimension.
You have to get to the 4th dimension to see it, right?
You have to be able to look down on the dimension. You can't
Maybe you have to be in the fifth dimension to truly observe the fourth.
truly observe from top down, right? Similar to seeing the quote unquote tesseract. It depends on how you view it. So we're able to see parts of the fourth dimension, but not the whole fourth dimension.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
yeah, see, I often consider the fourth dimension to be like the realm of like, sometimes consider it like a ghost realm. And if you can conceptualize the idea that you don't truly die, you either can transfer or transform. So all those in the
I'm
fourth,
following people on Instagram who died years ago, bro, and they still posting. Okay. I'm on YouTube watching videos of people who not here no more. Every other day on TikTok, one of the TikTokers go, but they got libraries that exist still on. There's a thing on DistroKid that you pay extra money to have your music up there after you die.
damn.
Right? Transcendence. They're
That's that
able to
resurrection. That's that 5D. See, I feel like
right,
you get resurrected if you
right,
can go beyond that death wave.
right. But keep in mind, right, but this new dimension is now a digital graveyard. It is freezing people like General Zod or Han Solo and whatnot. It's freezing your catalog. It's freezing your content. It's freezing your likeness and whatnot. You might not even be living no more. You might have expired. Like in the movie The Matrix, when they did what? They unplugged them and said, if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world. There's people who get bodied in the Matrix on some old bully shit. Oh, her nose look funny. You know what I mean? Somebody go viral for getting chumped and whatnot. And what happens to them in the real world? Some of them unalive.
Yeah, for sure.
They can't walk the real world anymore. They can't exist in what they call Zion anymore. They want to unplug and whatnot. They don't want to go back into the matrix. They want to just, people don't know how to handle certain things because they don't even have a proper understanding of what it is that they're tapping into. They just gave you these phones and was like, turn them on and start dialing numbers. Keep in mind, this is not a rotary phone. This is not your grandmama's phone. This is a smartphone. Okay. This is a smartphone. And when you put it under a microscope and you look at the microchips that are in the phone, the shit it's almost like a fractal because it keeps going in and in and in and in. And a lot of the quote unquote motherboards of some of these smartphones, when you look at them underneath a microscope,
It's
they looking like brain synapses.
Right. A world within a world.
World within a world within a world. Right. And for the fact that the activative principle in these smartphones come from the Congo and whatnot, it's all African, right? It's all African. The algorithms are all coming from they were initially founded by a Moor, right? So that's African. The coltan and all of the things, the proponents, the quartz and whatnot, that's coming from our land. Lithium. There's a lot of things going on. This device is not what people conceptualize it to be on a consumer level. It has a little more proponents to it. It's more like a black mirror. It's more like a scrying mirror. It's more like a black mirror. It could be used for powerful things, or it could be used to destroy it could be used for self-sabotage too.
It makes me think of, all right, so if we call Africa the motherland, and now we have the motherboard, a board like a ship.
Yeah.
You can get on this board and kind of explore now beyond the motherland through this motherboard.
Right.
But this board, like a ship, can be used for nefarious ways, capturing people, turning you into another personality. You never maybe was able to call yourself a captain prior to having this boat. Now that you have this boat, you can call yourself a captain, and now you got the clout, and you're not able to handle what it takes to be called a captain. And get it, all these things factor in once you gain a ship or a board. That's interesting.
Interesting, right? Very much so. And going back to the aspect of the 4D, right? 4D in the fourth dimension is depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the motherboard, when you tap into the motherboard is taking you all to places unseen and unknown, and it's taking you unlimited places and whatnot. So it's very interesting, very interesting. So the motherboard is definitely what we should be focusing on. The motherboard is the they say Matrix is mother and whatnot. Well, that's the motherboard. Keep for Nebuchadnezzar, right? The command of the ship, the Nebuchadnezzar, and Jada Pinkett Smith was the captain of said ship, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
For sure. And they made sure to make her, did she have her hair cut short? They always try to kind of invoke that androgyny with her.
androgynous look with her,
That
right?
is what this computer is. It's an androgynous concept.
Zeros and ones, sir. Right? Zeros and ones. So,
So stop. I gave red the analogy. People's fear of water, or specifically Black people's fear of water, is their own fear of their own depth.
So repeat that again.
Yeah, melanated people's fear of water, which is often common,
Yes,
is their same. It resonates into another issue, which is their own fear of their own depth, fear of going too deep into oneself or exploring oneself. And that's what this cell phone can do for you. And a lot of people at times feared this and still may fear this, but it's really just fear of one's depth. You may learn something about oneself through a mirror, especially a Black mirror. So don't run from this. Embrace it. Learn how to get the mother to help you, because that's ultimately what the mother's role or job is to assist her extension. And we are an extension of the land of mother nature, all these different things. So the nature of this device.
Right. So through this device, you could get on the motherboard or the mothership, and you could go to the deepest depths, which will equate to you watching a video that was the deepest thing that you've ever heard. And then from there, you could go down a rabbit hole. The equivalent of going down a rabbit hole is what you saw with that ship called the Titan that was going down to the depths of the ocean to be next to the Titanic. Right? That's how deep it goes down a rabbit hole. That's how deep some people can go on their phones and whatnot when they truly want to search for something and they want to do it. They want to have a breakthrough and they want to go deep diving and whatnot. That is the depths as to which that you can go on this device that you can hold in your hand and whatnot as you tap into the matrix. However, you got to know how to get back up. You got to be able to swim back up after going to those depths. Some people go deep diving and never come back up for air. And those people are walking around in Harlem talking to themselves with no Bluetooth. You feel me? And they not on Clubhouse. You be like, who they talking to? And it's like, huh? Some of them is on Twitter.
Deep waters.
Huh?
They talking to them deep waters.
They talking to those deep ethereal waters and whatnot. They're drowning. Okay, some people are drowning and whatnot, and with the right with the right grip or the right lifesaver and whatnot, I've seen people get rescued from drowning, and it's not over, it's not finished. I've seen some people go to the madhouse or what they call the loony house or the psychiatric ward and whatnot and bounce back, get their mind back. You feel me? Get out of the matrix, like in the Matrix movie when he was stuck in the train station. Okay, some people's consciousness is stuck in certain states and whatnot. Certain train stations are locked into certain rooms because of drinking with the Merovingians and getting your drink spiked, or making the wrong deal with the wrong person and having the key maker lock you out. So you have to be very careful when you're on this road or this deep dive. You know what I mean? When you're searching, because that's what Neo was doing. He was searching. Man, know thyself. We're on a search to find ourselves, and some of us are willing to go to the deepest of depths. Now, we could also talk about plant-based medicines and how that adds to 4D, because it adds what? Depth,
Mhm.
right? And then when we talking about things like plant-based mushrooms, the mycelium network, right? Well, the mycelium network is the definition of depth,
Mhm.
because it goes very deep under the ground. And when
Which
you
could be
go
fun.
on, huh?
Fungi, which could be fun. Fungi.
Fun guy, which could be fun guy. You know, when you tap into like 10 grams or something, or five, a heroic dose and whatnot, you're adding a dimension to your 3D reality, and that fourth dimensional, that fourth dimension that you're adding is depth,
Mhm.
because you're going deep into a quote unquote, you're going on a trip, sir, ma'am, and that trip is going to be an inner trip. It's not going to be an outer trip. You're not going to Mars with Elon Musk and whatnot. You're going on an interstellar travel, or intercellular trip.
I like that intercellular trip.
Intercellular trip.
Woo, of depth.
Intercellular trip
Of
within,
death.
to
And
the
it
to
could
and
feel like death.
it could
Death
feel like,
can
right.
feel like death. But the deeper you go, you will learn how to resurrect one from that feeling of death. That depth is going to teach you how to float, how to swim, how to
Right.
really get through these waters, these rough waters. You're on a rough time right now. The only way, see, think of it like we're dealing with a storm on the top of the water right now. And
Like
at
a
times,
hurricane.
yeah, like a hurricane, we're stuck in the water right now. And I want you to understand the only way you survive this is going deep. You got to go under the storm. And that's where we're at right now. We're going under the storm. We're not even supposed to be affected by the storm because we know our quantum depth. I like that word. Yes.
Right.
Like Titanic, when she was laying on that door, they're showing you something.
Right.
They're showing you something. It's a divine feminine on that door, pushing the divine masculine off because the waters have always been feminine. So this is also about treating the divine feminine right, acknowledging the divine feminine, acknowledging the divine feminine within yourself, man. That don't
Right.
mean turn LGBT. You know, I ain't say that.
Yeah,
I'm
don't
saying
lose yourself.
acknowledging this part. Don't lose yourself.
Right.
That's what it's about. It's about understanding the importance of the feminine, not for her just to be this submissive side piece like Eve.
Right. Right.
Real.
So you had more questions about the phone too.
Yeah, the last one. It was could it be for time travel? Could it be
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta qualify the time travel.
Yeah.
Bad, right? So in the phone, the way that we time travel is the fact that I could pull a video up from 2010, and I was talking about a lot of the things that are taking place right now. I could watch a video from 2010 and I can invoke the feelings of, I could bring information on board into my quote unquote my mind and whatnot. I could onboard certain type of information that may lay dormant from around those days, around that time zone, or that time stamp and whatnot. But watching a video that unlocks something will basically open up like that drawer for me, and then I could go in there and I can extract the gems or the diamonds or the ideas or the, you know, all of the things that I need that are necessarily waiting for me. So I'm able to, when Facebook reminds me, right, of my quote unquote history of what I was doing a year ago on the same day, and I might have been talking to you, right? So Facebook would be like, yo, a year ago you was building with Q Reaves, and me and you on a show right now, and we didn't it's not like we're doing an anniversary type of show. It's not like we're doing a year follow-up, annual or something. We didn't even realize that. So it's showing you time is centrifugal, and it's showing you that you're moving in cycles. Nothing is nothing is happening haphazardly. It's all going in a loop and whatnot. So it's just when the loop comes back around, it's like, where are you at now? Now you have a point of reference. Well, this is what you was doing a year ago. This is what you was on a year ago. This is what you was planning on completing and whatnot. So now it's a year later and you link back up with that person. Where you at with it? Some of us are so consumed and we're so distracted. We're so deep in a sunken place that some of us can't see none of the correlations or the connections. We're not, that shit goes completely over our man unit. You know what I mean? And we don't get it. And it's a lot of shit that's going flying by us like projectiles every other day. It's the great divine speaking in signs and whatnot. But if we don't have the eyes to see it or the ears to hear it, then it's just taking, you know what I mean? That's not registering. And that's not a horrible thing. It's a sign of the times.
It is. It's this machine, this black mirror we have is really trying to help humanity understand the rules of the quantum realm versus the rules of, like, let's just say binary versus quantum.
We left the binary behind, right? We completed that. Yeah, we all graduated, y'all. I don't. This is not a right. This is not a me and Q type of. No, we all graduated. We graduated from binary. Clap it up.
That means that you graduated from good
to this day.
Bad.
To this day.
And I was making the analogy yesterday that we are in the villain era, right? And it just goes to show you how far we've gone past the binary. We would not be able to be in a villain era if we were still stuck in binary. So some of the stars on the television shows are villains. Some of people's favorite rappers are villains. The movies
Joker 2 just came out. Joker 2 just came out.
Joker 2 just came out.
It's the villain era.
It's the villain era. And we were in the anti-hero era, which was almost like, it was almost an anomaly in a sense, because we were taught that you were either a cowboy or an Indian. There wasn't no Indian killing cowboys. There was, you know what I mean? Like, they made the villain cool. The Joker just came out, but the Penguin is bodying shit.
Man, the Penguin.
You feel me?
The Penguin is doing one of the most incredible, and it just shows you.
My guy, Colin.
I mean, and then he wearing this silicone suit. I'm just like, they could put that on robots so fast, so quickly. If that's what it could look like, what it could look like,
you're gonna get a tatted up Tupac robo. You feel me? This gonna be on the balloon popping show in a minute. Like, that's coming. That's coming. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna give a tatted up motherfucking Optimus. The guy is gonna have patois. He gonna be talking in a British accent, or he gonna talk like a Nigerian or some shit. And niggas is gonna get the balloon popped on them. Like, now I'm going home with the robot.
Oh,
he understood the assignment. So look, we got Thanos.
Damn.
Was that dude? Yeah, niggas wasn't mad at Thanos. There wasn't a lot of Thanos hate groups.
They were like, we need the snap.
We need Bane. Remember Bane, right?
Damn,
Doom,
Bane.
They got two, right?
Damn.
They bringing Doom back.
Ooh.
With Robert Downey. They took my dude out and replaced him and put Robert Downey as Doom, right? But Kang the Conqueror, villain era, they was about to make him a humongous star. They had to make the executive decision to say, yo, we would rather scrap billions of dollars and lose money before we make homie, because once they made him Kang the Conqueror, people are like, oh, that's crazy that they dropped him and he just hurt the girl's finger. No, nigga, he's showing signs that he was giving them signs that once they made him that made man, there was a monster that's Frankenstein. They would not be able to control what's his name? What was my dude name?
Jonathan Majors, right?
Jonathan Majors, right? Mr. Majors and whatnot. He was gonna be too much for them.
Nobody. You call him John Doe. That's a nobody.
That's a nobody. Jonathan, right? Mr. Jonathan. Yeah, so they clipped him up. you know, they cleaned them up and whatnot, and was like, yeah, try again. You're not this one. And
Damn, Michael Majors, interesting. Woo,
Harvey Dent,
woo.
right? Heath Ledger as the Joker. Okay. The Agent Smiths. Like they, you know, YSL Woody. You understand?
Damn.
You feel me? Young Thug. Before YSL Woody. What you talking about? Nigga, Young Thug. They gonna treat that nigga, they gonna treat him like he's a politician, like he's a political prisoner. Vibes Cartel. We are in the villain era. So
Villain era.
we gotta
Which
understand.
is also an age of transparency because the villains don't hold shit back.
You know their private life. You even know their secrets. There's some people that be coming home. Yo, I beat 8 bodies. I got a podcast. I'm lit. And they like, yo, we love this nigga. He's such a, you know what I mean? Because it's like after that, you know my secrets. You know I kill people. You know my private life.
Sean.
Huh?
Look at Sean. Sean Poe. Look, Sean.
Sean Poe.
From Diddy. He a whole politician.
Yeah, he the PM and shit in Belize.
Yeah, bro, prime motherfucking minister. They right. They love the bad guy.
But yep, that's nepotism. That's he had the family plug for that. I remember being in Flatbush. I knew Sean, and when they was like, "Yeah, his pops is," I'm like, "Nigga, how? Not this nigga pops."
Right. Tell me
He was causing terror for a little while. Yeah.
He was.
But yeah, we're in the villain era. And even though we're in the villain era, it's so quantum that, you know, we're still in the Heru era. We're still in the Heru era. You said that's why Joe Budden's podcast is so popular. Yes, he's the anti-hero turned villain, turned back to just anti-hero, right? Because he doesn't sit in the villain arc. His villain arc is an arc of redemption. How about that? How about that? How about he has an arc of redemption that he was able to go full villain because he was on some villainous shit with the shorties. And then he was able to clean that up, get his teeth and whatnot. And now he's in his anti-hero trying to head into the hero phase.
Kevin Samuels.
He was the villain, right? Who was really the hero for many. And, you know, he was that necessary evil. And by him being, if he got taken out, he got martyred and whatnot, because what did that do? That created 300 Kevin Samuels when none could fill his shoes. But that just made those numbers go crazy.
They Osiris his ass.
They Osiris them. Yeah. Yeah. It's mad pieces of him and whatnot.
It's gonna take a woman to put him back together again.
They did the same thing with Pop Smoke.
Kamala. I hope they ain't trying to make Kamala the ISIS. They're trying to put all these niggas back together again. Woo!
Lord,
and remember, they can never find his phallus.
Yeah. Kamala's Durga. Kamala is damn near, you know, she might be Kali out this bitch.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? She might be Kali out this bitch. She's the prosecutor. She be stepping on niggas. She has 50 skulls around her neck. You know what I mean? Like, that's what she does. You know what I'm talking about?
Whew.
And they definitely running with her as Durga. Yeah. Like the Indians would, why do no Indians? I ain't seen no Indian of significance. I ain't seen no group of people from Bollywood say, yo, we fuck with her. We co-sign. I don't see no commercials from no Indian billionaire saying that they endorsed her.
No. And then you see this hip hop they doing right now with the Indian rapper, Big Stepper, and he was like killing it. Boy got 170 million views in less than like 4 weeks maybe.
Oh, word? Is an Indian dude?
It's an Indian dude who rapping, and he don't sound like a lick of Indian. He rapping better than the rappers right now, and he killing it. And it's gritty. The video, like he rapping in like the Thunderdome type thing. Y'all know his name. Drop the name of the Indian dude who rapping right now, so Red can check that out later.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
This dude, you gonna be like, damn. So, cause she be pushing that narrative in as well. Because basically they're trying to take hip hop away from the black community and they're putting it into the Indian community. Like they they're prophesizing and pushing this narrative
Mm.
that they're going to be the new slums, the new
Yeah, the
out the
Slumdog
mud
Millionaire.
rappers. Yeah, Hanuman. That's his name.
Hanuman. Oh,
Hanuman.
word.
He was raised in Texas, so get
Oh
it. Big
man.
step
Yo,
up. Get
Texas.
it.
Look, Texas be creating.
Oh,
So you feel me? All of that oil out there, it be creating some interesting characters, bro. They got the Mexican niggas completely amalgamated.
man.
They got
It's
the white, they had Paul Wall amalgamated. Keep in mind what Texas be creating. They will amalgamate you and you know, the same way that New York has the ability, because in New York, they've I don't think people understand how many African rappers is in the league
true.
that New York created. My dude who's down with Travis Scott, Sheck West.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Kylie dudes, the new group, the young kids. You know, like New York creates amalgam. You know, all of them rappers from the drill scene has some type of Caribbean background. You know what I mean? Or they got African backgrounds and whatnot. It's just a melting pot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's an ill melting pot. But what do melting pots create? Melting pots create fusions. And what is a fusion? New niggas, right? These are quantum niggas because they don't have the algorithm of average niggas. They're anomalies. You feel me? A nigga, a first generation African nigga raised on Dipset, who sipping lean now, who getting scam money. There is just a different, you know what I mean? Like there is gonna be a different out. They're gonna create some different shit.
Ooh, they probably get a better lean than we do right now because they done knocked our market all the way down. So like, man, so I was
Well,
in an interview real quick. I was in an interview and they were talking. So Biggie's son wanted to do like a remix to a song. So
yeah.
his son ends up working with another producer. They come together. They create the track. They're now on the phone with Diddy. Christopher Wilder's son is like, you know, this is such and such. He helped make the song. Diddy was like, well, did he ever do it on Keta? You know, ketamine, I don't want to say it, but you know, that the drug, it's like horse
Yeah,
tranquilizer.
horse tranquilizer.
But he was like, did he do this? Did he do this song on that? And the producer was like, nah, I didn't do it on that. And he was like, okay, well, you know, go do that. Go do it on the K.
Right.
He was like, nah, I'm not into doing that. Diddy shut the project down instantly. It's a wrap. You know, if you ain't gonna add that K frequency to the music so I can put it out, I'm not doing it.
Right.
I'm not doing it. So I can see them now giving some of these third world country almost situations the best drugs. So they can replicate some of the Futures, some of the Juice Worlds, some of the Waynes.
I'm telling you, cause they're gonna be able, yeah, they're gonna tap into the into that DNA. That's why Empire and all of them is focusing on Africa, and they're shifting the budgets and everything over to Africa through it's with the Afro beats, but they're even merging the Afro beats with like the drill.
Yeah, it's going to come. They go to destroy themselves with that music, just like the black community destroyed themselves with a lot of the drugs and a lot of the stuff that came with this. They're trying to get that same algorithm over to them. It's messed up.
It's already happening. It's already happening. That's why when Buju got on Drink Champs and he blasted the Afro beats for being mad shallow and not representing what true dance hall, true reggae music was about, not slackness, not about poom poom and whatnot, not skin out music. It was about struggle. You know what I'm saying? It was about resistance. That's what original, even you had to juggle it up. You didn't stay with one topic. Buju could talk about the girls. He could get on some bad mind shit, but he was giving you pure consciousness too. He evolved. So he's like, how is there revolutions going on in Africa as we speak? But y'all don't have no soundtrack. Y'all don't have no equivalent to a Bob. Y'all don't got the equivalent to a Peter Tosh. Y'all scared to make the music to represent what's really going on. So I feel his I'm feel what he say. I know Burna Boy said that he had an album called Gaddafi that he never put out. That's in the cut, and he says that he's the one that could pop out and make Africa rise up. But ignorance is bliss. It's the easy money that nobody wants to F up right now. In America and other people in Europe and whatnot, they're making sure to pour mad money on Africa to be like, nah, stay right there. Stay right there. Stay talking about the shorties. Stay talking about all of this, you know what I mean? This club shit. Stay right there. Even though it's feel good music, Africa deserves better. I want to hear the revolution. Where's the fucking spirit at? It's too many Africans died fighting the British, fighting the guy, they're fighting everybody. We need some type of messianic black sun to rise in Africa. We need a black sun to rise in Africa. And what the black sun is, metaphorically and metaphysically speaking, is the quote unquote black messiah. It's a messianic force. It's not one person, it's a messianic force. And it's out there. They're seeing it in Burkina Faso and Mali and whatnot. They seeing them moving. They moving super gangster. Let's be clear. There's a few of them stepping the way that a step is supposed to step. They are laying down some, they doing some shit, taking back the gold mines, nationalizing their assets. They doing shit that the Moors dreamed about. But they need a soundtrack, and they need some people to step up that's not afraid to basically, give everything for that quote unquote country or that nation and whatnot. Fuck that.
Yeah, they got to go beyond the little quick check. It's the same thing like social media people now. They get paid more for creating content that gives people anxiety. So they want to just continue giving people this anxiety, while people like us try to give real motivational content that get way less views and way less traction than this anxiety-based content. So they're trying to follow that same format. Let me just do the easiest thing that gives the biggest payout.
Right.
It's sad. Right. Sad. There's no depth. That's what happened to all the music, the movies, just even in the Matrix, in the fourth one, he was talking about originality, the Frenchman. He was talking about how it's changed. Like when they reset the Matrix, or basically brought in social media, it killed off originality. It killed off free thought. It killed off what we had at a time, which was that spark that was in everything. I mean, Double Dare had the spark to it. Like so many things had this family man, like so many things had the spark to it back in the day that you can't get back now. That you can't that I don't even think a society sees the importance of anymore. And that's the problem.
Well, to add on to what you were saying earlier about the fourth dimension, which is depth, which is a formula that you brought to the table. I want the family to be clear that this is, we're building on some formulas that the good brother Q, shared with us. And when you're talking about these movies that are lacking what? Depth. That's what people say. They're lacking depth. They don't go deep enough. The Tyler Perry catalog and whatnot is lacking depth and whatnot. The sitcoms and things of that nature, they lack in depth. And you find you can remove the depth by changing the writers, because it's the writing that adds the depth. It's how good of a writer you are. What is your pen looking like? How deep can you go? How much depth can you how much of a field of depth can you create with your pen, with your imagination, with your mind? Because imagination is also the deepest of depths in the fourth dimension. It's through the road of the highway of the imagination, or through the imagination, that you could basically go to the deepest of depths and whatnot. So when you bring back good storytellers and good writers and whatnot, and when we re-emphasize the importance of writing and to teach people how to write, right? We're not even writing with formulas anymore. People are not even following a certain writing formula. They're not even you know how back in the days you would have writers who were inspired by Shakespeare or inspired by other great writers. You don't even find that anymore.
It's how we're writing. So most of the writing is happening now through like speak to text, cell phone typing, and very few people are actually tapping on a keyboard anymore. Very few people are using a pen anymore. It's
Right.
basically there is no direct integration. Like when I hit a keyboard, I'm getting a response back. I'm being acknowledged during the process. This speech to text or this typing on one's phone, it has eliminated. You know, I feel like Drake brought that frequency in. I remember seeing Drake with his phone and rapping, and I'm just
Right.
like, he literally bringing in this new wave, and
Right.
he has been initiated into certain knowledge and awareness that helps him not get lost. Like he
Oh,
can do this while
he's
still going into the other world where he's doing very analog things. So
right.
it's like what happens to a person who don't have that balance? They just cell phone rappers now. They're just straight, I'm gonna write everything, every verse on this phone, and not have any more response or feedback from it. It used to be a thing where remember you type something, the phone like vibrates or like
Remember the
responds.
vibrate?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it don't even do
Like,
that no more. It don't do
so
that no more.
the depth of conversation and natural language was removed when we were being introduced to things like LOL,
Mm,
OMG. And
damn.
then when the memes came and whatnot, or the emojis and whatnot, that even limited our field of depth and whatnot, because now I can't get deep with you. So if I'm courting a woman and whatnot, I can't even get super duper poetic and take it to the heights or take it to the depths and whatnot. I'm just like WYD.
Damn.
And she's like, I don't, you know what I mean? Well, however she answers and whatnot. And it's like, I'm trying to sniff if she's feeling me or not through WYD and how you answer
Mm.
D&D. I'm like, oh no. So what does she mean by that? How is she? Yeah. So I have to interpret, right? I have to interpret an impulse or an emotion and whatnot. Emoji. I got to interpret what the emotion is. But I could be like, and she sent me the water signals. I'm like, I know your emotions, right? But instead of you writing it out, or instead of you giving me some type of poetic answer and whatnot, you're just hitting me with a picture. So they're taking away, they're keeping us stuck in 3D, because that's keeping you stuck in third dimension. It's so the fact that certain people are feeling pushback these days from being fourth dimensional or being in a fourth dimensional mind state or being able to see and to think fourth dimensional is because we are not going deep enough. We are not allowing ourselves to take depths and whatnot. We're not walking deep into the forest. You know what I'm talking about? We're not going intercellular travels and whatnot. We're not going within. We're not meditating deep enough. We're not going to the deepest and darkest crevices and whatnot. We're not sitting in dark rooms, contemplating certain things and whatnot and going inside, right? We're not doing these things. Okay. The music, driving them. You know what I mean? Future didn't even have to rap the hook. That's how deep it goes
Oh,
now.
the
I'm just
mummy rap.
saying,
Mummy rap.
it is
Mummy rap.
mummy rap. It's mummy
Yeah,
rap at this point, right?
mummy rap.
It's mummy rap. He put the intention into the mumble, and niggas is and I'm not gonna. I would be a liar if I said that shit is not lit.
No, it's lit.
Uh,
It's lit.
you know what I'm talking about? So it's like you don't even need words anymore. So that whole concept of the multi-syllable rapper and whatnot, who is wild deep and super duper depths and whatnot, where is that going now? Where is that going when Sun just came on there and pootie tanged it? You know what I mean? And it's working. So is that deep though? Is he taking, because it is in a sense to some people that has depth to it. Because he's taking people into the deepest or darkest of places of where you are when you on Molly Percocets or some lean and whatnot. He's
Well,
taking you to that dark place that people don't talk about, that you don't get access to, and you don't see it. Henceforth, while a lot of the young thugs of the world, the Pee Wee Longways, all of the dope fiend rappers or the junkie rappers and whatnot, they were lit because people get to vicariously go to a certain type of death with them, either a death, or a depth. You going through deaths with Kodak and whatnot. You're going through deaths with my dude. Let's not even talk about the dead rappers, because niggas listen to dead rappers, and that is a whole wave in and of itself. You know what I mean? I know niggas that get leaned up, they get perked up and whatnot, and they listen to nothing but dead drill rappers all day. Nobody alive, right? So they go into the depths of the death realm. And of course, they're just thinking about killing their ops. And of course, they're thinking about, killing the competition. And of course, it's not like they're listening to all of that and they're thinking about, a lofty type of realities. They're not thinking about a utopia where it's peace around the world.
Nah, hell no. Crash Out, Walking Dead.
They're programming themselves to crash out.
Misery
So,
Love Company.
Right. Crash out as an egregor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Crash out as an egregor. Okay. All of these young niggas in Atlanta crashing out. Baby Kia and all of them. That's an egregor. The same way that Vaughn, O Block, Dirk, and all of that, that's an egregor too. So
TK,
once you get
TK, the race,
TK, the
crash
race
out. That boy
crashed,
right. The rest of his life.
How many young niggas crashed out after him though?
Yeah, no, the race. They were racing to crash out. Like
they were racing
it was
to crash
a subconscious command to let's get ready to all race to crash out. And it has been.
They spanking niggas in front of the Ring camera on film, 4K, looking right in the goddamn camera. Woo. Crash out culture. This comes through programming. You're not born like this. This happens by tapping into the egregors. You're tapping in to the quote unquote frequency that will hypnotize you. You feel me? It will give you what you need. It's going to give you a download, and that download is going to work with you. It's going to give you an attachment. It's going to give you it's going to attach itself to you and feed off of you. So woe unto these little babies, because they know not what they get into. These are babies that are encapsulated in this culture. And remember, terrorism, the idea of terrorism is not about who they kill. It's the people that are still alive that saw the person get killed. That's terrorism. I get to affect millions of people by hanging one nigga in the square and then chopping them up to pieces. He's the sacrifice. But the real victim is the niggas that seen him get hung and chopped. So these babies who sit around and be like, damn, if I get into beef with any rappers, I know I'm gonna die, because all I grew up watching is niggas dying who was having beef on Twitter. Do you know these are babies that have beef on Twitter and it's turning into mass murder? That's crazy in 2024. But we in the Kali Yuga, so it's a tale of the times and whatnot. But once again, we have to identify it and then go into the depths of it, because people be trying to look away from it and they don't want to go into the depths of what's taking place or what they seen and whatnot. But I'm like, fam, this came through the phone. These little niggas wasn't drilling like this without Twitter. There's people in Chicago that had beef and whatnot, but they didn't have no phone to beef with.
Well, yeah, we would wait for major events to beef. Like when we were living up north, like when there was some issues, we would have to wait for key moments for them issues to like come up.
To come up, right.
And at times there'd be a gap where you don't even hold on to it no more, because you can't even see, bro, you got an issue with to the next basketball game next week. And so much stuff may happen between that basketball game and you had smoke or beef with him, it may dissipate. But online, it's instant. Drop your pen. Meet me at the gas station. It's like it's there's no silence. There's
it's
no
the
breaks.
Matrix, right? But it is taking place on terra firma in 2D, right? Because if you get bodied in 2D, right, you get stuck in 3D, right? You get clown, niggas are smoking blunts of you, they disrespecting you, they making songs about you. The videos that you did prior to getting bodied is still up, right? So the movie The Matrix, they unplugged shorties and them they was in the chair and whatnot, and they was like, yo, if we kill you in the Zion, right? Remember, they was getting killed. They was unplugging them when Cypher was Cypher snaked Neo and Agent Smith snuck into Zion,
Yeah,
and then he started unplugging niggas.
Mm-hmm.
So in this Hunger Game that we're witnessing, or this Squid Game reality that we're all paying attention to, millions upon, I'm talking about, it's bigger than the Coliseum. The numbers that the videos be doing is over 100 million each.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that looks like? Travis Scott is doing stadiums with 80,000 and is registering on the Richter scale in these countries that he's in as many earthquakes. Do you understand? That's just 80,000. Travis Scott is doing raves. This is the same Travis Scott where 10 people died at his rave Astro World back in the days in Texas a few years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's going on tours mostly around Europe. He was in Rome, he was in Brazil, and he was somewhere else. The shit was so turned up in the stadium that it literally was on the Richter scale as a mini earthquake. And that's just 80,000, 100,000. You got 100 million on these videos where these young guys is out here killing each other. So the people on the internet are waiting for somebody to die in 2D so it could feed the egregor in 3D because they need blood.
Yeah.
Whatever God that they created, whatever golem that they created, whatever entity, or it's really O Block is named after somebody that they killed. So in a sense, that's the deity that's the memory or the spirit that they're feeding. Fuck a candlelight vigil, nigga. We're bodying shit in your name. And then we're going to get the tats on our bodies and whatnot. We're going to put the tattoos on our body. We're representing you. Babies are growing up. Oh, block, this and this and that block. After this person, they got martyred. You feel me? But they have an audience of people who don't come from that area all around. I'm talking about a global audience. People in Europe, Asia, India, China, America, rooting for the ops to die or for you to kill something. That's crazy.
It is.
That's
that
crazy.
means they've embraced this death wave, though. They've allowed enough people to choose to be in this 4D, or a version of themselves is in this 4D, and they don't care about resurrecting. They don't care about seeing the light of another day. They complacent with being in this death wave.
Oh, for sure.
And I call them, and those are the individuals that's going to be in the consciousness of machines within the next 10 years.
Right.
You're going to be my Roomba. Tell you to clean my carpet, and you ain't going to have no choice but to just clean my carpet. And that's what you want to be in the death wave. So that's what you get.
Right.
They got to go somewhere.
Yes. And, it's to a degree, it's some NPC type shit. You know what I mean? It is really about observation, having a keen eye and being able to discern. It will give you great observation. And really, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, as a researcher, as a decoder and whatnot, and as a teacher, observation is paramount. Observation is paramount. I don't have to participate. I could just observe. You know what I mean? So imagine how many of people we're observing shit, but how many people are observing us? Once again, 4 dimensions. We can't see the 4th dimension. So we think we watching shit, but what about a whole bunch of motherfuckers watching us watching shit? And this is just a Truman Show.
What if it's the dead that's watching us?
Well, it is said that we are we are beings who are hundreds of feet. We have, you know, we can't fathom how tall we are. We can't fathom how big we are. We can't fathom how enormous we are. We're limited, of course, in our perception and our scope because of the fact that we live inside of a box. A two-dimensional box and whatnot. We're limited in our scope. However, when you get into the fourth dimension, you're going to realize that that is not what this is, you know, and we exist on multiple planes, and this is just a smaller version of us, and we can, you know, and we are being observed the same way that we could look at ants and whatnot, and the same way that we can observe, we go in our backyard and we can observe the quote unquote wildlife or the ant life or the bugs and whatnot, whatever these kingdoms are, we could be observed as well. You know?
And if we are being observed, then I ask the question, what for?
You got to keep in mind, over multiple schools of thought and knowledge, you know what I mean? They all come to the same conclusion that, you know, this existence that we have in this, you know, 2D dimension, this holographic universe, is the fact that we are spiritual beings, you know what I mean? Sentient like beings inside of what is known as a flesh suit, a space suit, a vehicle. This is a vessel, right? A smart machine and whatnot. And we're having external experiences through our senses of hearing, smelling, touching, and tasting. Okay, the stimuli is a teacher. You put your hand on the stove and you get burnt, then you know the next time not to put your hand on the stove because you were taught a lesson through trauma and through stimuli. Okay.
You know how they say a voice sometimes talk to you. So imagine like I'm a 2-year-old and I'm about to put my hand on the stove and something's like, don't do it.
Right.
Could it be us? Like, could we be that voice that's saying don't do it?
Of course.
We learned in a timeline or in a simulation not to do it. So like we're projecting that maybe to a future version of ourselves, an ancestor, a descendant. I mean,
above humans, above your human self is the angel, and above the angel is the cherubim, right? There's a higher version of yourself that will call out to your lower version of yourself, or the lower, and say, don't do that. You know what I mean? And if you're in tune to listen to that voice and whatnot, you would listen to it. The majority of the mistakes that people make, they ignore the voice and they don't want to admit that. I didn't hear nothing. You did.
They want that voice to be Jesus.
Yeah, rewind the tape, and the tape will be rewound for you at the end. Listen, let me explain something. Let me simplify this process. Imagine you closing your eyes and taking your last breath. Then magically your eyes open up and you're in a classroom where you're giving a report card. And on that report card, you're going to be graded on the experience that you had while in class in this university. And if you fail the class, you are going to be left back and you're going to do it again. If you pass the class, you will go on to what they call the higher realms, because they said this is 7 heavens and whatnot. What if you're in the bottom of the 7 heavens and you have to continue to elevate through the 7 heavens? But you will be given a report card, and that report card will show you if you were able to pass the test that were given to you while you were here. It's as simple as that, because they making this shit too hard. This is about passing a test. Everybody has a specific test that they have to pass. Everybody, that you can't cheat on my test by giving me your answers, because that's not how the test is. The test is a test of wits. It's a test based off of who the hell you are originally. You might be God. You might be motherfucker. You might be him. Well, guess what? If you're him, imagine the amounts of tests that you're going to have to pass in order to prove that you're him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's what this shit is about. And people, if you take yourself out too soon, you'll never pass that test. You're going to go right back. That's why when you wake up, they'll be like, because if that's the case, everybody be jumping off a fucking bridge and whatnot. That's not how it works. You got to pass your test. All of that pressure that you feeling, nigga, that's the test. That's called spirituality. That's the pain, nigga. That's the same pain that the yogis go through when they're sitting in a motherfucking with their legs crossed and whatnot. They have to breathe through the pain. They have to push through the pain because they have to prove to themselves that the pain is not real. And all of that pressure that people feel in life and whatnot, that's the test. That's the test. They say to smile in the face of adversity. I know niggas that got clapped and smiled, bro. Yeah. They're you can't defeat them after that. They're undefeatable. They're passing the test.
Yeah, no, death don't even fear them.
They don't even fear death, bro. Because if you walk out this shit on your feet and whatnot with your head high, you feel me? Knowing who you are, knowing, not believing, knowing who you are, then you're a martyr. The reward is you going to be immortalized. Thug Immortal, what Tupac came and talked about, has a lot of reverence in my reality, because what he said was the main goal that he recognized was not to come here and be a legend, because he said legends are not remembered forever. You have to immortalize yourself. And African proverbs say that the minute they stop saying your name and whatnot, that's when you die. Not when your body drops. It's when the last person remembers you and stops saying your name. That's when you're going and whatnot. So for people to say, oh, Jesus is not real, and y'all trying to come up with all of these records as to where he's buried and whatnot, go and watch the TV show American Gods, season 1, 2, 3. And it's going to explain to you that in this realm that we're in, all of that shit that you're talking about means nothing. This is about that we're living in the fantasy, imagination realm where the subconscious cannot decipher or differentiate what the hell is real or not. Jesus is as real as you niggas believe him to be. So in the realm of belief, he's very real because millions of people say that he's real. You know what I'm talking about? Millions of people believe in him and say his name, and they shed blood in his name. They sacrifice to him daily and whatnot. The same thing with Allah and all of these other gods. But there's some gods that nobody is shedding no blood to. They're not saying their names. They're ashamed to say their names, like people in the Americas during Hoodoo Heritage Month. They're not even invoking the names of the deities that are tied into the hoodoo tradition and things of that nature. And they're not invoking the names of certain tribes. People are like, I'm Cherokee, I'm Blackfoot. What's the name of the gods? Let's figure that out first, because you got to start saying those names and whatnot. How the hell can you summon any type of force that you don't even speak and acknowledge? And you got these flunkies and whatnot, and you got these dun-dun-dun gods that people just made up and whatnot. And they saying their names and they keeping their names alive. They building statues and whatnot. They're infusing them into cartoons and shit. They're putting them on clothes. You better catch up. You better catch up. The old gods versus the new gods. So now the new gods is your phone. You know what I'm talking about? The new gods is the internet, technology boy and whatnot. The new gods is the World Wide Web. The new gods is lust. You know what I'm saying? The new gods is, you know, all of these new gods that they created. And you're forgetting about the Aboriginal indigenous ones, the original technology, the original AI, ancestral intelligence, not this bullshit. Nigga, you can't even put the goddamn laptop in the water.
Yeah, for sure. It's a right. That guy gone.
You feel me? You niggas can't survive a rainstorm. Don't talk to me about your phone and your technology and
It can't
whatnot.
get too hot.
You
It's
feel
over.
me?
It's
And,
a wrap.
and it causes cancer. So
Mhm.
you really know that it's anti-life. It causes cancer if you sit around it too long.
Anti-organic.
Anti-organic. You can't lay it down on your gonads and if you have if you put electronics on your body and whatnot and you hold on to a voltmeter, nigga, you're not going up. You're going down.
But I think that's what some of these new tech guys want to do as well. Drain you, like when they said Neo with the battery, they want to deplete you. So it's like the new guys want certain heroes. I'll give an example like a young Pharaoh. He would have been a hero to these new guys. But the goal was to never keep him around. It's to drain him so that when it comes to the refreshing, because this is what they're doing, they can remove him. And the goal is selecting who they want to be the faces of this new digital realm. Because that's what we're doing right now. We are basically becoming the ones that are immortalized. Once we transition, these videos will keep in rotation. This knowledge is just going to keep going unless they can pull you out of it like they did Pharaoh. Can't find none of his content no more. All that shit that man done said, bad and good, it's gone.
Right.
There is no more immortalization of young Pharaoh. It's a wrap. It's gone.
He's not the only one. Remember, when they took him out, they took those who were attached to him out as well. They removed a lot of cavities. You know what I'm talking about?
Woo!
They removed a lot of cavities. So Polite is erased. They scrubbed him. Right?
Rashad, erased.
Scrubbed Rashad.
Erased.
Scrubbed
All
Nature
connected.
Boy. They
all
scrubbed
connected.
all of them. They had the similar algorithm. They scrubbed Pharaoh. They scrubbed them, right? They erased them. They you die in the matrix, right?
Woo.
So people, when I lost my YouTube channel, this is how I knew how real it was. When YouTube snatched my channel, I went ahead and started a new channel. I wasn't even gonna go back to YouTube. I was like, I'm building my own shit. You know what I'm saying? F that. I ain't even, you know what I mean? I had my Patreons rocking with me. I was ready to go on my crusades. And then brother Rich sat me down and he had a talk with me, and he put a perspective in my mind, and he's like, yo, people don't even think that you alive right now because you're not on YouTube, bro, because that's how they met you. So in your mind, you're in your 3D reality and you're moving the way that you're doing, but from your vantage point and your perspective, you got to look at that shit from a different perspective. People don't know you for being, they don't live in Atlanta with you. They ain't catching up with you. They only know you in the Matrix.
How they were introduced to you.
How they was introduced to you.
So why would they know anything else?
So So he was like, you got to hop back onto this shit and, build this shit back up. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take his advice because I be giving him advice. So I was like, I ain't bigger than, I'm going to take the advice. And I got back on there. And then when we was at the meeting of the masses and whatnot, I literally had 3 people coming up to me and they was like, yo, we didn't know what the fuck ever happened to you and your brother after y'all was off the internet. We was in our crib, mad, upset. That shit hit people negatively. And I was like, I didn't even realize how much of a staple our channel, but our channel was there for like 15 years. So it was people that was using that information and they were vicariously attached to that whole platform. So when they cut the platform, it's almost like the movie The Matrix, where they kill you in the Matrix, you dead in the real world. A nigga see me and was spooked. Like, oh shit, oh goddamn, I thought you was gone, nigga. I'm like, wait, what? You thought I was in the gulags, nigga? He was like, when they cut your channel, they thought that they came and got you. That's how much in a place people are because of what was taking place over the past years. They out here clipping niggas. You know how many people was on the internet that's unalived? There was like content creators, bro. That shit don't get talked about. Let alone the people that's under the goddamn jail in a pokey. So the real people that the algorithm put in the headlock was all of their followers, yo.
For sure.
It's not, once again, what is terrorism? Terrorism is hanging Saddam Hussein in a public square and then terrorizing all of Iraq. That's what terrorism is. It's doing it in front of everybody.
Yeah, silencing the voice, which is what they did to you. But instead of them accepting it, they still kept you in their consciousness. You know how you say you got to speak the name into existence? Your memory couldn't fade that easily. And they still was speaking you in their thoughts and their subconscious. And a part of you felt that and say, you know what? Let's do it again. And look where we at.
They just hear your footsteps when you I just was like, fuck it, I'ma still stomp and whatnot. And people are gonna feel you even if they don't hear you. They're gonna know that you still out there punching the matrix in the lungs. You know what I mean? You know, so I'm like, nah, it's all good.
What year did they take you down?
What year is this?
Oh, 24.
They clipped me in December.
Of this year?
Yeah.
Well, last year,
clipped me in December.
Yeah, just the 20 of the old channel.
Yep, the original Know the Ledge. Yep. So it's a concept that we're not, you know, we're not looking at it through the lens of, you know, we're looking at it through the lens of maybe a content creator perspective, but we're not looking at through the lens of how people perceive. Remember, perception is everything and whatnot. So going back to the initial question that you were initially asking about the phone and whatnot, this cell phone, this cellular phone, right? This extension of what they showed you in the Matrix, this extension of the phone booth that turned Clark Kent into Superman. Charleston White, even though I don't agree with everything that he talks about, his concept of the character is something that everybody has to study. He lays it out in layman's terms. He's explaining to people, yo, this is a character that I created for the fucking internet. Shame on a nigga to get on the internet and try to be their real self. That's not what the internet is for.
It's not. You're right.
The internet is for
different. I said you're right. When you entered back into the Matrix, Neo, Trinity, they all look different. They was different.
Right. The color on them was different. Trinity, she was looking sexier. You know what I mean? It's no makeup, you know, no face paint and Zion. You eating, you know, they eating fucking slop, cosmic slop, and then they in the Matrix. You know what I mean? You know, Barney's for breakfast. Breakfast at Barney's, my nigga. Is different. And that's what we do. That's what we do.
The internet do that too, though. The internet one day, I mean, look at Glorilla. Like one day he was this, the next day he was this.
That's what BBLs are about. That's what niggas with them new teeth is about. That's what the skincare routines are about. That's what the hair plugs are about. That's what the breast lifts are about. That's what all of these things are about. It's about not just body augmentation, reality augmentation through the device that allows you to do it, which is the World Wide Web and the internet. And if you don't utilize, you know, some type of quote unquote Hollywood magic and whatnot, if you don't realize some type of scripted reality, if you don't realize that you could create your own world and your own universe, then you're not participating in social networking. You are participating in social media.
Ooh, that's so true. That's so true. Y'all better get y'all networks together.
You're not networking. You're not taking this shit for what it's worth. You're not getting
working your net, fisherman. You ain't empty.
Right.
You coming empty.
People are going to make $1 billion off of this internet playing on these phones, and they're going to do it and enjoy themselves while doing it. Don't be mad because motherfuckers are in full character and they're going to fall into a role and they're going to play the script the way that it was written, irregardless to how anybody feels. You didn't walk out of the motherfucking Godfather with an attitude. You know what I'm talking about? It's a movie. Do not get on the internet and try to play real life games with me. I'm not on it. I figured it out. You know what I mean? I figured it out over time. This thing is a movie. This is a stage. We are here to entertain. Okay, we can educate while we do it and whatnot.
For sure.
I mean, God damn it, the ultimate goal is to educate.
For
But
sure.
because of the algorithm, because how things have changed over the years and whatnot, unfortunately, we have to cloak our intelligence inside of the arts. So we got to become artists, right? We have to hide our quote unquote our plans and whatnot inside of quote unquote scripts.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to cloak it inside of the arts. The arts are going to protect us. You niggas that are hopping out here trying to be too real and whatnot, and you don't know how to read the room. You don't know what type of, you're in a different age, bro. Like I said, this is no longer binary, and this is no longer, it's not good and evil. So the people that you got around you is no longer loyal and respect. Motherfuckers is out for so many different reasons. Humans are not even humaning anymore.
The rules of the Matrix change.
Right, because they're mixed in. Humans are being mixed in with this new dimension and this new. This is not human. This is not no human shit. They built this digital realm. This ain't no. This is not. This nature didn't create this. Man created this.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Man
reflection of man's nature. This isn't nature itself.
Huh?
This is a reflection of man's nature. This is a nature itself.
Right. Because in real nature, we, the animals are able to communicate through the grid, similar to when I do the roll call.
Mm-hmm.
And how we're communicating right now, and you live where you live, and I domicile where I domicile, or I could bring somebody in from China and whatnot. The animal kingdom could communicate like that, but through the way that they're not doing it through a phone.
Mm-hmm.
They're set up naturally to do it through the grid. Through the morphogenetic grid, the 100 monkey theory and shit like that. When you have a monkey on one side of the planet doing something, and then a whole group of monkeys on the other side of the planet simultaneously start doing the same thing and whatnot. The string theory, things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
So in this electrical age that we're in, and in cyberspace where we're dwelling right now, where we're connected by quote unquote servers and satellites and signals and cables and everything. Yeah, that's man-made. So this is a reality that man has created, a new dimension where, once again, people who are behind the hardware of it, people who are behind the advertising agencies that are involved in it, people that are behind the social networks that are involved in it, people that are involved in all type of mobile devices that are everybody. If cash is everything to people in this world and whatnot, everybody is getting paid. Everybody is making profits. Everybody is quote unquote turning over a dollar. But it's bigger than that. The reason why they're being so handsomely rewarded is because look at the web that they casted. Look how many people they're able to capture in this net. Look how much energy, look how much currency, look how much energy and motion they've been able to encapsulate in this dimension and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Look how much death has accelerated.
Net backwards 10. NETTEN. The word 10, the 10 man, the Aten, Satan. These are all part of where we're at right now. This net is helping create the realm of the 10 man.
Right.
Net man.
And they capture things in nets. Keep that in mind. They capture living organisms inside of a net. So this World Wide Web or this internet has a lot of people trapped inside of a net right now.
Mm-hmm.
And to break out of it and to free yourself, ultimately you got to just put the phone down and stay in Zion. If you want to go, cold turkey with it. I know people that don't even have phones and whatnot. They're not in this net at all. They don't know anything that's going on inside of the net. That net shit don't affect them. They got motion in 2D in the real world, in the 3D dimensions. They shaking and baking and whatnot. and part of their part of their persons is not connected to another dimension. It's not getting pulled on and whatnot by the internet. So those people move a little bit differently, from my observation.
For
They
sure.
move a little bit differently. You know what I mean? They're more anchored to the land and whatnot. And then you have this army of people who decided that they want to jump through their phones and get into the matrix and whatnot. And it's protocols to the matrix. You know what I mean? It's protocols. You just can't just jump in it and think you're going to navigate it on your own. But I want to take this quick break right here for a quick commercial.
Sure.
Yeah, real quick, y'all. Let's go to our sponsors and whatnot. We have an event coming up, and I want to let everybody know about it. Peace, family. Peace to you and yours. Tonight's show was sponsored by this event that we have coming up entitled Unveiling the Veil. And that is going to be on Saturday, or what we call Saturn Day, October the 26th at 8 p.m. Q Reaves and Red Pillar will be introducing a masterclass on spiritual expansion entitled Unveiling the Veil. All right, Unveiling the Veil. This is going to be a slide show presentation. We're going to the slides. We're going to take you on a journey and on a trip that is going to blow your mind, because the majority of the students that I come across, one of the main things that they're struggling with right now is spiritual expansion. Okay. A lot of people are trying to figure out how to navigate their way through this journey that they're on. And we're going to be coming through with a toolbox of tools and solutions. All right. And we're going to drop some powerful gems. So if you want to get the tickets, they are available in the description. I'm going to drop it in the chat. And we also have a deal where we're going to be giving away 2 free lectures so people could catch up on a lot of the information that we've been laying out over the past few months, where we've been very much on point with our predictions and with our insight and whatnot. This is one of the lectures that you're going to have access to, Project Fear, that we did with the good brother Sharif Anail Bey, Fear of a Black and More Messiah. This was Project Fear. All right. And then the other one is the Jason Months. When in Rome, the Jason Months is featuring Red and Blue Pill with Vicky Dillard. All right. And of course, Jason is July, August, September, October, November. We are on October. And as you can see, the Jason month has been Jasoning. Okay. The Jason has been Jasoning. So November is going to be the big finale to the Jason month. And it looks like we're going to have a big season finale. This one is going to end with a bang. So if you want to catch up to what's been going on, so you can know what's going on and what's going to happen, definitely get these 2 lectures by purchasing this ticket tonight. I'm going to honor everybody who purchases the ticket tonight. This is one night only. We're not doing it tomorrow. We're only going to be doing that tonight, where we're giving away a lot of value. All right. So Unveiling the Veil, Brother Q Reaves and Red Pillar, a masterclass in spiritual expansion. And that'll be Zoom only. So we could talk our shit. We don't have to be censored. We don't have to worry about no type of censors. We could play videos. We could talk our talk. We don't have to tippy toe and none of that stuff. So yeah, that part. And of course, tonight is Unveiling the Veil. All right. Sacrilegious Sundays, and yeah, this is just a precursor to what it is that we're going to be delivering. So if you're feeling the conversation tonight, we just chopping it up tonight. On Saturday, the 26th, we're going to be teaching. So yeah, we'll see you in class. Shout out to everybody that got tickets already, my KTLians. Shout out to all of my Patreons. Y'all already know, for my my top members, my Citrine members, y'all gonna be good. You know what I mean? No worries. You are going to be good. All right. So here's the link right here for the Eventbrite, or you could go on ktl-university.com. We have tickets there as well. So yeah, man.
It's lit.
So the veil is up. Said that's the date of the birth. email me and I got a free ticket for you. That's we gotta give back. This is my email right here, the Mark 125th. Send me an email and I'm gonna give you a birthday gift. You know what I mean? Respectfully.
This may be the first lecture I put on a Blu-ray as well, because I'm kind of thinking about making sure we keep records and not just rely this being on some digital system, right? Either on a flash drive or a Blu-ray, and we may offer that later on as a product that could be purchased.
Yeah, that's
like
fire.
Flash drive, you just pop it into your TV, your PlayStation, your computer, or if you old school, we'll have the Blu-ray disc available as well.
Blu-ray disc or the PlayStation. I know that they was spinning that on a PlayStation. So yeah, my good brother, we at the 2 hour and 40 mark. This has been a dynamic show. So many gems dropped, so many mind-blowing. I'm gonna animate this. I gotta go into the editing bag and put some visuals to this chat. You know what I mean? Because this is one of those things. It's 4-dimensional build. You know what I mean? You gotta literally show people what a tesseract looks like from above. You gotta literally show the family what a cross looks like from above, how it is a tesseract, and just break it down and just show people, you know, what it is that we're talking about, so we can have a better understanding. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I really appreciate the build. Do you have anything that you want to leave the family with?
Just anyone interested in exploring their subconscious mind, I offer regression therapy. It's a way of basically allowing your subconscious to articulate to you what it's been going through, what it has gone through, what has attached to it. So qreaves.com if you're interested in that. And come July, I'm teaching classes. So if anyone ever thought about becoming a regressionist, ever getting in the business of regression therapy, January, I'll be dropping classes. So subscribe to the channel. I'm on YouTube. Check out my website and just keep supporting teamwork, because that's really what we're on right now, like teamwork and transparency. Our lecture is going to be a little more structured and a little more organized, as it should be. But things like this have always been like freestyle. Let's just get up here and see where we could take this. So I'm excited to be a part of that type of frequency, that type of energy. No expectations, no pressure, no weight attached to this. Just flow, just flow. So thank you for allowing us to kind of have that opportunity, bro.
Word. Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody that showed up. Building was packed. It was lit. The chat was lit. You know what I mean? A lot of good energy. Also, I don't want to forget that next strong on Saturday, October the 19th, for my AT aliens, everybody in Atlanta, YG Cafe, which is in the West End, which is 640 Evans Street. The legend Professor Griff and the legend Wesley Muhammad will be in the building from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. The weaponization of hip hop, #5. You can put your phone over that QR code and it will get you in the building and whatnot. Make sure y'all pull up if you are in the A. Let's get that. Let's not talk about it. Let's be there. So let's show these two brothers, especially not just both of them, but Professor Griff, you know, before the Jaguar Wrights, before the Gene Deals, before the Vlads, before Lord Jamar, before everybody claiming to be exposing hip hop. This one right here, the Minister of Information, he basically put his career on the line to teach the people and has not stopped since. So many things that he predicted has come to pass. So I'm in the build. I seen him today. I told him I'm showing up. Matter of fact, he'll be on the show either Wednesday, the latest Thursday, but Professor Griff will be with us so we could get the family up to date as to what's going on with all of this exposure that's taking place in the industry that he was telling us about long time ago. Salute to him. And Wesley Muhammad has added so much value to the conversation about the dangers and the fallacies of quote unquote the shit hop, not hip hop, shit hop. Y'all know what that is. We don't have to explain. We don't have to single anybody out. You know what shit hop is. And one thing that I like about Wesley, and one thing that I love about the good brother Professor Griff, is they don't punch down, and they're not picking on the lower hanging fruits. They're going for the quote unquote top of the pyramid. They're going for the capstone. They're going for the roots of it, and they're going for the cap. And those are the type of warriors that I respect. I'm not interested in punching down. I'm not going to kick nobody down that's already in jail, or nobody that's quote unquote a worker. I want to get the head of the snake. Therefore, we don't have to worry about continually to do things like this. We could be working on, how do we make music with that God frequency in it? How can we thrive, and how can we make billions of dollars off of creating healing music that we can all benefit from? Because that's the next millionaires and multi-millionaires in this music thing is going to be the ones who are going to be frequencies, high frequencies, healing. The artists who are rapping about healing, the Londrells of the world, the AC McQueens of the world, the Lizzie Jeffs of the world, those are going to be the ones who are going to be elevated, and they're going to see a lot of success globally, not just on a black thing, globally.
Yeah, fact. I like that. Remember what Professor Griff was a part of, Public Enemy. He's trying to let you know the public has always been viewed as the enemy. So y'all got to start learning your power, family. We really do have a lot of authority in this.
Super facts. You feel me? Super facts. So with that being said, family, I want to thank everybody for their contribution and being in the building tonight, being witness to this powerful build, and being able to pick up some of the gems that were being tossed and whatnot. I encourage all of the students, to go ahead and do further research. You have the tools to take you down that rabbit hole. Let's really break into this fourth dimension. Let's really begin to highlight the aspect of depth that is missing. This changing the 3 to the 4, and that's adding in the depths. And we will build a lot more of that leading up to the lecture and during the lecture.
Mm-hmm. Uncensored, family.
This part.
Remember that.
Yeah.
No
pig Latin, right? We got talking pig Latin, ixnay, oxnay on a YouTube, but we good money.
Good.
Melanin Monday tomorrow, y'all. We'll see you in the building. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell and whatnot, hit the like button. You feel me? Make sure y'all leave some comments. Love and light to the family. Peace.
When you purple light, when you purple light, friends, facts, red, blue, purple light, friends, red and blue, purple light, friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye. When you purple light, when you purple light, friends.
To this day.
Facts, red and blue, purple light, friends. Yeah, and blue, purple light, friends. Facts, you can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the fool put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light to the family. Peace, love and light to the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.